with the timing, and I can assure you that tonight it's another beautiful evening from Lagos, Nigeria. The weather has been very good, and also a lot of you that have been following us, we would like to say thank you very much and keep it going. This is the time that we need to let Nigerians home and abroad know what is happening, and a lot of us will appreciate that as we are now 78 days away to this most important election after the 2015 election. I believe this election that is coming up is a give and take. Reason being is we have more political parties, we have more candidates, and we have different opinions from different individuals, groups of people, and everyone is a stakeholder in what is happening back home in Nigeria. Everyone is a stakeholder, as we know. For those of us that are living inside the country, we want a better Nigeria. We want a Nigeria where there will be security, there will be safety, and there will be healthcare facility for all Nigerians, whether you live in the rural area as far as Sokoto, or you live somewhere in Lagos, or you live in any part of the eastern or the middle belt. Yesterday, we are grateful to the comrade that joined us all the way from Benue State, giving us a better insight with some of the development and some of the information that a lot of us are not privileged to know. And I want us to remember that until you find the right individuals that can tell you what is happening, it's very easy for myself and you to sit down at our own comfort zone and finding out what is happening in any part of this country. That is the reason why we try to move around. We try to connect with the right people that knows what is happening in their community, what is happening not just only in Nigeria like we have been doing, we're also still engaging very, very much with all the those that are in other part of the world. And I can tell you we are so connected, compared to 15 years ago, where it would have been very difficult to have this kind of opportunity so that we can be able to engage, discuss, whether we are of the same view or not. One thing I believe all Nigerians want is a better Nigeria, a better country where you can have your international passport and say to yourself, this is a passport that I believe in. This is a passport that I know that if anything happened to me, any part of the world, the government will be ready to fight for me. This is a country that everyone, regardless of our political affiliation, whether you support or you don't support, everyone have a stake in this country called Nigeria. A lot of people will say, what have the country done for me? I've not been able to enjoy anything out of this country as far as I'm concerned. But what you also have to remember is the country was at least able to give you the first step, that whether you now have that opportunity now or you're still working towards your goals, Nigeria is still the home for millions of us. Nigeria is still a place where we all are looking at it and thinking, we are not there yet as a country, but we are moving in that direction. Millions of us are connecting much more better than 10, 15 years ago. And I'm just going to be reading a quote from a very good friend of mine, Davidson, all the way in US. While we are still waiting for connection to London, I hope we shouldn't have any problem to London, as we know the network in London is far better than the one in Nigeria. Engineer Olusegun O. Okpanuga will be joining me very soon, and he will be giving us his own view his own opinion, while Nigerians must continue to get involved and register themselves under the APC or the PDP government. Like I did mention, everyone would not have the same view. Everyone won't have the same opinion. But it's also good to hear the view from someone that maybe knows something that we don't know. A lot of us might believe in something, and somebody might be telling us, no, it's not going to be Nigeria. To also tell us a little bit more about yourself before we fire on, because there's no time to waste tonight. There's a lot. When it comes to APC, PDP, Nigerians will fire you from left to left, and you want to tell us the reason why you think we should still work with these two political parties. And I'll let you get on now.
Thank you very much indeed for having me on your show once again. I'm so proud of the great work you have been carrying out unhindered, passing through a very, very difficult terrain called Nigeria, of which we know this is not a game. This is not as if maybe we're trying to pull Nigeria down. We're just saying it as it is, because so that we can build capacity to rebuild our country to compete very well with the rest of the world. Yes, I'm Engineer Panoga. Yes, you mentioned that I was part of African Action Congress.
That's correct.
Truly, I was part of the movement. Let us have the correction. I was part of the movement, Take It Back movement. I joined in after its inception. And when the party was formed, I was with the party. I have not at any time paid money for any registration that I'm a full member of the party, but I am an enthusiast of African National Congress, as at that time I helped in building capacity. I was one of the people that worked day and night for the party to come into being, with prayer, with many of my colleagues in the in the Take It Back UK. Yes, and later, having thought deeply about the whole thing, the way it was going, and remember, politics is all about time. Time is very essential. The party was not coming up with that kind of drive to meet up with the time slot to be able to achieve the aims and aspirations of many of the.
And a very good afternoon, and welcome to another beautiful Monday, the last day of November. This is a live broadcast. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and the date is the 30th of November 2020. I'd like to welcome each and everyone that have joined us, and I say good afternoon wherever you are. Good morning for those of you in America. Good night to those of you living in Japan, New Zealand, and also those of you far away, wherever you are. Good afternoon, those in Nigeria. The time here in London is exactly 13:42. My name still remains the same. My name has not changed. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and I'd like to welcome you all onto the broadcast. A lot of you, or those that believe that I just surface from somewhere, a lot of you were praying that you will not come out and speak every day, especially the enemies that think that what we are saying has become a threat to the Fulani and the federal government. But tell them, I have told you the energy in each one is different. My job is to give you exactly the way it is. You literally don't have to agree with what I say. But in Timor, I've been around, and I know that a lot of people want to know kí ló ń tì lẹ́yìn gangan, kí ló wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ tó fi ń dún. Some of them must have gone and consult different oracles to give them an opening eye of what is backing this young man that is so bold to come out every day and say one thing consistently, that Nigeria will break. Some of you might not like the way I say it. Some of you love it because all of a sudden you're like, wow, we've been looking for something like this for a very long time. Some of you are scared. I understand. You saw the video I just played. That was 78 days before the election of 2019 in Nigeria. The same Nigeria that people will say, come to Nigeria now. You can hear the sound of the generator at the back while I was doing that, broadcast, when nobody knew what I was doing. So when people say, come on, come to Nigeria, the question is, what is in Nigeria? Is abject poverty. That is the only thing in Nigeria. So when people say you enjoy Nigeria, the question you ask them is, who is enjoying Nigeria? When they say come back home, you ask them, where is the home? Oh, because you have indefinite stay that allows you and gives you more privilege than those at home that do not have access to visa to come down to America. So you have become their God, their mini God. That is what some of you love. So that when you go back home, you can send them errands and they look at you as a wow, London boy. But our people are living in abject poverty, the Yoruba people. Let's watch more of that clip that I was playing earlier on.
People that want African National Congress to be part of Nigerian politics in the full force. So, when I found that they were too slow in reaching the consensus in terms of making all our the goals of most of the African National Congress to come into being, I have no other choice because nobody brought me into African National Congress. So nobody would take me out of African National. So I went out all by myself because I came in by myself.
That was 78 days before the 2019 that we now knew that is a 419 election. And I was also at home to cover this. So when people say, hey, stop talking, you are in abroad, you are in London, you are complaining about what is happening on ground, you don't know what is happening. Hello, that was me in Nigeria, 78 days before the election. And the good thing is, Facebook does not tell lies. Again, I'm asking, I'm going to blow this up a little bit. And I want to be sure that everyone can see and tell me, can anyone confirm the date and the time of that interview? If you are truly following me right now, can you tell me the date and the time, or the time rather, and the year of that interview? 419 country. Can anybody tell me what month, year, and day can you see there? So when we come and then start telling you that Nigeria cannot work, it's not because I am selfish. At least I have at least something that brings me into Nigeria and takes me back out. How many of you are praying for the same thing, knowing that the country is never going to work? You think I just pop up from somewhere? Thank you very much, my sister. So when people say, come back home, come and say the same thing at home, I ask them, what is at home? What is it that is at home that you are making it look like come back home? Come back home into abject poverty. Come back home where there is no security. Come back home where there is no meaningful to life. That life in Nigeria is nothing. Your life is not guaranteed. Your life means nothing to anybody in Nigeria. They say come back home. That was me at home in 2018. That was me, Olayomi Koiki, back in Nigeria in 2018. 78 days before that fucking shithole election, where more people were killed just before we were going for election. And they say, come back home, come back home. You're all mad. We're going to break that country up. Say, come back home. Come back home. You sit down in London, you are shouting. At the end of the day, each time you come back home, you are living in abject poverty. Take time and look at the topic we are treating again today. Say, come back home. The home is like it's sweet to some people's mouth. They say, come back home. Then you then start asking the question, what is really at home? What is it that is at home that you want to come back home for? Those diaspora that come back home are so happy because when they get tired of Nigeria, when they get tired of Nigeria, they will go their passport. All they need is buy a ticket because they know that they have also sacrificed. How many of you have fought with the Home Office for 14 years, 20 years before you were given right of stay? That is part of the problem. So when people say come back home, you ask them, what is at home? What is in Nigeria that makes you happy? That was me in 2018 when I was in Nigeria, where I was doing an interview and there was so much noise of generator at the back. Is that home? Shit home. Say come back home. What is at home? What is in Nigeria that we are so much proud of, apart from abject poverty? So when people say come back home, let me rewind this video again. Was it not part of what I was saying? What is different from what I was saying here? Education. That tonight, it's another beautiful evening from Lagos, Nigeria. The weather has been very good. And also, a lot of you that have been following us, we would like to say thank you very much and keep it going. This is the time that we need to let Nigerians home and abroad know what is happening. And a lot of us say that 8 days before the election, I was personally on. So when I say when trouble starts, I will be personally on ground myself. Who is scared of Nigeria? You think I'm scared of any one of them? But let's tell you that we have been saying the same thing, but the only difference now is something popped up 6 months ago and tell me that Nigeria will never work. We've been talking about Nigeria for a very long time. You think I just pop up somewhere? You think I'm here? I said I am doing this now as a full time. I'm not, look, I have served this country for 22 years. I don't have to go. Look, I don't have to go and work if I don't want to work. Let me serve and make sure that we get the Yoruba nation. But we first continue with the awareness campaign. That was me in 2018. Where were you then? You say, come back home. Come back home. Home that is abject poverty. Home that your life is become threatened. Home that people will kill you. Home that nothing is working. Even while I was doing that interview, it was the sound of I hate the generator in Nigeria. I always tell them, turn it off. But when I want to do broadcast at home, I don't have any more reason than for them to turn it on. Can you hear the sound? Let's play more of this video. Election after the 2015 election, I believe this election that is coming up is a give and take. Reason being is we have more political parties, we have more candidates, and we have different opinions from different individuals, groups of people, and everyone is a stakeholder in what is happening back home in Nigeria. Everyone is a stakeholder, as we know. For those of us that are living inside the country, we want a better Nigeria. We want a Nigeria where there will be security.
Did you hear that? We want a better Nigeria. Did we get a better Nigeria? Did we get a better Nigeria? When I was talking in 2018 that give us a better Nigeria, you did not give us. Now you are now saying that we want to break Nigeria, you are complaining. When I was saying give us a better Nigeria in 2018, where was everybody then? When I was saying give us a better Nigeria in 2018. So now we are saying we want to break up Nigeria. Some of you are now saying we should hold on. 111 people were killed on Saturday, and the world has like nothing has happened. You think the world is going to fight for you? That is why I said we will be the one to fight for ourselves. If we are waiting for United Nations, it's just that because we want to put pressure on them. It's as simple as that. But when we will leave Nigeria, it will depend whether the Yoruba people are really serious to go out of Nigeria. If we cannot get diplomacy, we go the other way around. I am not scared to say that. Violence will become part of this movement at some point. I am never going to be scared to say that on the live show. 2018, we were asking them, give us a better Nigeria. You don't know what is coming. That was an interview of myself in Nigeria. So when you say come to Nigeria, I'm asking Yoruba people, those of you at home especially, look, forget about the diaspora. They are living a better life than you. So when the diaspora are saying Nigeria is good, I have told you, tell them to renounce their British, American, Canadian passport and come back home and live with you as well. They will not do that. Yes, they can come home for 2 weeks. That is not home. Ẹni tó wá sílé for 3 weeks, that is not home. Somebody that come home for 1 year, that they know that at some point in their life, they have a money that they can take to travel out of Nigeria, because when they get to the port authority of the next destination, they will not tell them where they're coming from because they are already a citizen. You don't know what it means. You that you have a visa, have you not been at the port where some of you, I know that, look at it, you're watching me now. Hypocrite people, you know that the next person on the seat, especially those that are looking for fine girls on the aircraft. So when you are traveling, ó ti mọ̀ pé tó jókòó sí ẹlẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ kò ní American passport. Ìwọ dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ó ní American passport. Ìgbéraga máa wá dé. You will now start seeing them with their British passport when they're about to land. They start showing you so that they can tell you that I'm a British. Now they are no longer Nigerians. Oh, you don't know that. You do that as well now. You do the same thing. So when you are inside the aircraft, you start talking to somebody, they ignore you. And then the person did not know that you have a British passport. And you realize that the person is traveling on a visa. Oh my Lord, your own akọ, your own ìgbéraga will become so much. The person will not know, but when you land at the port of the entry, oh, you then realize that the person that you are sitting with is holding a British passport. But when they are coming to Nigeria, they will hide the British passport. They will now use Nigerian passport to land. That is why some of you end up in a mess, especially during this COVID-19. Some of you got stuck in Nigeria because you never took a visa with your American passport, and you expect America to lift you back to US, and they refuse to do so. Do you know why? Because you came to Nigeria as a Nigerian in that shit-hole passport. So some of you that think that you are smart, you have British and American and all these passports, but you travel home with your Nigerian passport. And when anything happened to you, do you know that you are on your own? Because your embassy, that is an American embassy, does not know that you are at home because you came to Nigeria on your own free will. Shit, oh. So when they say come back home, I start asking the question, what is at home? What is in Nigeria at home? The Yoruba have been living in abject poverty for the last 60 years. Nothing has worked. No healthcare, no welfare. This is what I was talking about in 2018. Give us all these things. They refuse to. Say, come back home. Look, I'm telling you from henceforth, especially those of you supporting and working towards the Yoruba nation, when you are going home, you better don't go with a Nigerian passport anymore. Because if anything happens, you are going to be evacuated as quickly as possible as a British, Canadian, and a German citizen. If you go back to Nigeria with your Nigerian passport, because you are trying to save money by not getting a visa, you are on your own. So when people say come back home, that is Yomi Koiki in Nigeria, 78 days. And I was also in Nigeria during the election. So when they say come back home, you think I was not at home before? Shit hole country. Let's hear a little bit more from that, And this was on the 29th of November 2018, 2 years ago.
There will be safety and there will be healthcare facility for all Nigerians, whether you live in the rural area as far as Sokoto or you live somewhere in Lagos.
Now, is it not the same thing I was saying in 2018 that healthcare should be given to everybody? Did I not mention Sokoto? You think I just go and join that video? You think it's a dotted video? You think this is Lai Mohammed talking? You think I'm Lai Mohammed? You think I'm Fashola? You think I'm all those crazy politicians that keep dotting videos that Buhari can never come out and talk to you like this, and you say you still have a president? Where's the president? Where's that Baba Gosime? I'm talking about, no, Buhari, I don't care. That one is gone. I'm talking about that Pastor Ruga. He said for vice president. Come on, Benny Kolori. Vice president, call vice president me. When I was shouting in 2018, give Nigerians a good healthcare, let everybody be secure. Did you not see those people that gave birth in Lagos and they put them under the tent? Is it Cheku or Shenbeni? Say two about Bimose America. She have a tent along BSC. Ika, Iyaka, Iyaje, Babaje, Iyanja or Yoruba Nile. They are suffering every day. You live in America, you live in Europe, and you are saying that we should continue with one Nigeria. Evil people, evil. You are all evil, evil people. So do I care? I don't have to care. But something said we are going to break Nigeria, and that is the final say. Nobody will bring that down. Even if I stop talking about Yoruba nation, something else will pop up from another person. Yoruba will go. Evil people. You live in a very exclusive area outside the country. Sweden is only less than 15 million people, half of what Lagos is, and they are living a very comfortable life. Stupid people, Yoruba people. What my Benita, they are all hypocrites. They watch it all the time. They are watching me, they watch everybody, but they will say, oh, leave Nigeria. I was shouting for healthcare to Nigerians in 2018. So when now I'm talking about break up Nigeria, some of you are now pointing, evil people, wicked. You want our Yoruba people to continue to suffer every day. Every blessed day they are suffering at home. And you say we should not fight. We will fight when the time comes. If anybody is not ready, that is their own cup of tea. They say the military. Who is military? Guerrilla warfare. But what we need to do first is, this is what we do. We give the awareness for. This was me in 2018 when nobody knows me. You think I just pop up from somewhere? Wicked bastard! You think we are joking? You think I'm joking here? Let me play more of that video.
You live in any part of the eastern or the middle belt. Yesterday, we are grateful to the comrade that joined us all the way from Benue State, giving us a better insight with some of the development and some of the information that a lot of us are not privileged to know. And I want us to remember that until you find the right individuals that can tell you what is happening, it's very easy for myself and you to sit down.
A day before this interview, I spoke to another person just as I was doing interview every day in Nigeria. I spoke to somebody in Benue. Do you know how many people were killed in Benue? Is it not what we are asking for? Give a better Nigeria. Did they give us a better Nigeria? So when we say let us break away, why is it a problem to especially the Yoruba people? Especially the Yoruba people say we should remain one Nigeria. For what reason? I was shouting for one Nigeria. Give us healthcare. Give us security. Over the weekend, do you know how many people were killed? Last week Thursday, a Yoruba king was killed in a Yoruba land. Is that not the same thing I was talking here? Did you think I just make up this video? It was even somebody that reminded me of this video. Now they want to twist it. Benny, now they want to put everybody and say, hey, you guys talking about this Yoruba nation. You know they're stupid. They start, so when we break, so what's going to happen? Shut up your mouth. What do you mean what's going to happen? What has been happening for you living in Nigeria? Oh, so when you break, how are we going to manage? How are we going to survive? Hello, shut up. How have you been surviving in Nigeria? When we break, so who's going to be your leader? Shut up. Can't you be a leader as well? They'll be asking, most of them, some of them, they have 10-year visa. Careful with people that are telling you one Nigeria. Be very careful with them. Always know that they have another backup. Every one of them, I can guarantee you, they have visa, and the one that does not have it. Look, I'm telling you, there are so many diaspora. Let me tell you, when you compare yourself to people in Biafra, it's not telling you that his pension is constant every week in London. His pension is constant in America. Ó ti ṣiṣẹ́, ó wá sílé, ó wá wá ọmọ kékèké, tá máa bá ròbòròbò, tá máa bá ṣìbìṣìbì. You know what I'm talking about. So irú àwọn èèyàn máa sọ pé no. Because ó mọ̀ pé tóun ṣe yẹn kò lè ever ṣe l'America. So many people are committing so much offense. Whether Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, even in Nigeria's diaspora, they will never do that outside the country. Pedophile. We have so many of them. You know you will never do so when you are in America. But when you get to Nigeria, because Nigeria is a shithole, you don't want us to protect everybody inside the Yoruba land so that you will not become a pedophile. Look, be careful with those at home that are telling you one Nigeria. Some of them are pedophiles. Some of them have committed so much offense outside the country. They are now living in Nigeria. They know that when Nigeria is good, we will eventually trace them back. Look, any crime committed after we get the Yoruba nation, we will make sure we dig and we find all those crimes. Whether some people say we should not say something like that, leave that to one side. Come back home. I was home 78 days before the election. Come back home. What is at home? Kí ló wà nílé? That your life is not secure. Come back home. Come back home. Come back home. That word is so much in the hands of the stupidos in Nigeria. Come back home now, so that we can fight the ones that we've been at home. What is the purpose of it? Come back home. And especially the diaspora. They love the exchange rate the way it is now. But what they forget is they can get killed with the money they are taking home. I know a diaspora right now, that was robbed in Nigeria. Yes, very heartless, wicked. They're only concerned about their family. Look at it now. All the diaspora, go and ask them now. This is 2 o'clock. All their children are in school. Go to Lagos, go to Aba, go to Enugu, go to Anambra, go to Sokoto, go to Katsina. You will see children all over the country roaming around as if that is normal. But come here to Europe. Tó bá bí wọ́n dà jẹ́ káwọn ọmọ ẹ má lọ sí school. Ìwọ má mọ ọmọ ẹ lọ sí school. Kò sọ pé orí ẹ̀ gbálẹ̀. Tó bá bí wọ́n dà ìwọ jẹ́ káwọn ọmọ ẹ má lọ sí school. You know you can end up in prison. Wá tún gbọmọ lọ́wọ́ ẹ. But in Nigeria kò kàn náà ṣe fọmọ lọ́mọ ni. Yorùbá wá dẹni tó ń jìyà left and right. Owó school wá di problem fún ìyá mi. Ó yá condemn school fún ọmọ ẹ̀. Èèyàn ṣe tán ó ṣe títí dé SS3 ó wá di pé kó sanwó wáyé kò rówó wáyé kì í san ó yá kúkú ya ó yá di pé wọ́n san lówó wáyé. Do you know that pain? Home that you can be kidnapped. Come back home. Come back home. Come back home. That is me at home. I told you I have been around, but this time is a different ball game. Let's hear a little bit of that again. At our own comfort zone and finding out what is happening in any part of this country. That is the reason why we try to move around. We try to connect with the right people that knows what is happening in their community, what is happening not just only in Nigeria like we have been doing, we're also still engaging very, very much with all the
those that are in other part of the world. And I can.
Did you hear that? So when people say, oh, sometimes people say, why do you post something? I say, shut up your mouth. I've been doing these before I start talking about Yoruba nation. So does that mean that when there's injustice in another country, I put it on my timeline, it becomes a problem for you? It's because our mindset has been blocked. They know that, especially the diaspora, they know that nothing can fix Nigeria, but they are the one that will continue to say, oh no, let's try. Come back home. Yes, my sister, selfish people. Where were you? You think I'm doing this, for fame? Is that what you all think? Oh, maybe he's doing it, maybe there's something that he wants to gain out of it. But this was me talking then to Nigerians that we should have better security, better welfare for everybody. And I mentioned every tribe. But now I say, enough is enough. We don't want to be part of anybody. Let us stand on our own. Let us become so powerful. We can take care of everybody. Everybody can be accountable. If I commit a crime, then I should be punished. That is the only way out. But those at home do not understand that people that you are saying and complaining to, they have alternative means. How many of you have alternative means? How many of you?
Tell you we are so connected, compared to 15 years ago, where it would have been very difficult to have this kind of opportunity so that we can be able to engage, discuss, whether we are of the same view or not. One thing I believe all Nigerians want is a better Nigeria, a better country where you can have your international passport and say to yourself, this is a passport that I believe in. This is a passport that I know that if anything happened to me, any part of the world, the government will be ready to fight for me.
The question now is, when I was saying all these, who were the people I was fighting for? I have alternative. So I know that I'm only in Nigeria for a limited number of days. I know that it doesn't matter how long I spend, I can come back here and I will be welcome back. But those I'm leaving behind, how many of them will have that same international? Is that not the same passport that somebody was destroying here? Let me show you again. Do you remember this guy? Oh, where is he now? Where is he? Where's my friend? What is going on? Okay. All right. I must have all right, let me come back out. Remember that guy that was tearing his passport? All right, it looks like maybe something is happening to my sister. All right, I'm just gonna let that go. Remember that man? Don't your passport? Don't boya. What is the essence of that passport? A passport that is now have no value. So when I was talking then, I was not complaining that me. It's not about me. It's about you in at home. Because I know that some of you now are looking for opportunity to run away as well. So why not then let us, even if you run away, let us still break Nigeria. Because not everybody can run away. Not everybody. So when I was saying all that, when I was saying that Nigeria is not good, when I was saying that, is it not the same country? Number 3, Global Terrorism Index of 2020. When I was talking about security in 2018, was it for me? No. Look, I can live here for another 30, 40 years. Even if I don't do much, I will be comfortable. As long as I cut my coat according to my size. It's in Nigeria that you want to buy big cars. You don't have good roads. You don't have no security. Come back home. I laugh when they say come back home. Where is home? Home, where this man, we are looking for him now. We don't know where he is. 2 billion naira is with him. And nobody knows where this 419 man is, called Minor. So when they say come back home, where our fathers, mothers, from every part of the country have worked tirelessly and one man run away with the money, 2 billion naira. Come back home. Come back home. A country that cannot give you so much adequate life to live. But yet, we are saying that go and look at Sweden. Sweden is only how many of them? And women who go in Sweden. Do you know the population of those in Sweden? Do you know the population? Let's go and look into Sweden a little bit this afternoon. Let us now start comparing and asking reason why we want to stand on our own as a country, so that we can take care of everybody and everybody will be accounted for. Sweden, Scandinavia nation with thousands of coastal islands and inland lake, along with vast border with vast boreal forest. Shower not the forest. Do you know that our forest has become a problem, where Fulani has now become a issue for us to travel from Lagos to Ondo State now? You can be taken as a kidnap and be killed, just like the king of Ifon in Akure, where you can now say you are going to Ogun State, and that means that you cannot travel at this particular time because our forestry has become a danger. And you say you have a governor, you have a House of Representatives, you have a politician, and you have a government. So you want to live as a poor man before you die, but you are dreaming of Europe and America. Sweden, yes, Scandinavia country. Do you know their population? As of 2019, last year, 10.3 million. 10 million. 10 million. Sweden. But do you know that you at home now, shouting one Nigeria, if I tell you now that there's an opportunity in Sweden, you will be the first person to run away. Elena Atinwale, a lot of, look, as I speak right now, there are so many people on their way to Nigeria, but they know at the back of their mind there's a kind of risk as well. It contains risk, where you go to the kitchen, water doesn't come inside, and the one coming from outside is probably polluted. Where you are going out, you are praying. It's understandable, but you know that nothing is working. Let me show you something. Sweden. Who knows Sweden very well? Because I don't know, so I'm going to be going by what I'm reading. But who can tell me a bit of Sweden? Do you know that it's only 10 million people? But in Nigeria, a shithole country, a country that does not have any hope. Nobody have any hope. Let's look at their history. Let's just take a kind of back to what their history is. And you ask yourself, if 10 million people can live comfortably well, but in Lagos, 20 million, they cannot take care of every one of you. So who is saying that we should keep, one Nigeria? Who is saying that we should keep one Nigeria? Hello, Sabe. Who is saying we should keep one Nigeria? Keep one Nigeria for what purpose? We should keep one Nigeria for what purpose? Let's read a little bit about their history. And I'm just reading from the little information we have here. History of Sweden, early history. After the last ice age, when the ice cap melted and receded further up northward, Nomadic Stone Age, hunter-gatherers from Serbia, Germanic region, and other sub-regions venture into what is now Sweden. They soon built settlements, growing crops, making craft, hunting fish, farming animals during about 3000 BC. They are increasing size, being discovered of dwelling places and graves verified by archaeologists from during this period of time. Polished flint axe, decorated pottery are some well-known objects that were made and utilized in this period. Do you know how many things that we've not found in our own land? And you are saying we should keep one Nigeria. Who wants to keep one Nigeria? For what purpose? For what purpose are you planning to keep one Nigeria? For what purpose?
So there was this guy, Robin, the happy plaster from Bristol, right?
I do not own the copyright to this video, but let's watch it. It's just about 6 minutes. That a little bit. If you look into some of these history, a lot of you now wants to go and live in Sweden, but you forgot that Sweden or Swedish, they fought for what you want to go and enjoy now. In time, fellow, enjoy nílùú wọn, àwọn náà jà. If you look at that, it says the third Swedish. Let me bring that up so that I can read as well. If you look further at the bottom, some of the war and ogun tó jà, tó fi di pé you are now looking at Sweden as a country that you want to go and visit and live with your family if you are given opportunity. But in 1293, according to what I'm saying here, Third Swedish Crusade to Finland, they fought for what you now want to go and enjoy. So when we say, let us say Nigeria as a country that can never, because there was nothing called Nigeria. So now you are looking at Sweden, you would love to visit. They are Catholic. As at 1378, their population was 700,000. I hope you're following the whole story. Because this is what people don't understand. We want to come out of Nigeria so that our own history can then be rewritten properly because Awani Imole Adulawo. You don't know what that means. Let me remind you. We are the Imole Adulawo. If you play our anthem, which I'm just going to do now, you will know that the anthem already told us that Awani Imole Adulawo. So why are we worried? Why do we want to be inside Nigeria? When Sweden, the same country that some of you living in London, we even prefer to go and live because of more opportunity for you. Do you know that some people leave UK? They leave England to go to America because they are tired of this country. Let's play our anthem.
Iṣẹ́ wa fún ẹ wá.
ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira ni ẹ jẹ́ ká máa lè bá tẹ̀síwájú fọ̀pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára. Ọmọ Oòduà dìde, bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ. Ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ gbogbo adúláwọ̀.
And you now say we should continue with one Nigeria. Are we not crazy people? When we say we are the light of the world, you are now explaining that we should stay in Nigeria, where I was there in 2018, shouting for healthcare, shouting for electricity, shouting for all kinds of things. Is that not what I was shouting?
You know, this is a country that everyone, regardless of our political affiliation, whether you support or you don't support, everyone have a stake in this country called...
The question now is, do you have a stake in Nigeria? Do you have a stake? That was me in 2018. That was me in 2018. So when you now see me and then I'm saying that we don't have to go with Nigeria anymore, it's not working. It's not going to work. A country that we are still complaining of the same issue for 60 years. And our identity is about to go into extinction. You're right. Every country in the West striving today had to fight to make their country what it is today. You want to go to Sweden, but Swedish fought for what they're enjoying now. Their great-great-great-grandfather all fought very hard. Let's go back to that video. It's a timeline of what Sweden did to become what you are saying now, and you would love to go there. So I'm going to be doing just my own voiceover while that video is playing. You can see, right? Let me bring it back up this way so I can read more as it's going on. Right? This is what they've done from 1443, King Christopher, 1450, King Charles, and they, like that. And these become their own icon that they are worshiping today, because these were the people that fought to make sure that they have what has become Sweden today. Look at all the war. Look at Egbogbogbodoja. As at 1552, their population was 900,000. So who is now saying we should keep on one Nigeria? Thank you very much, Mama Walati, Canada. Welcome on board. I say good afternoon to every one of you, from the Biafra to the Yorubas, even to the Arewas that are watching, to the Niger Delta. Let everybody own their resources. Let us keep what we have. These were part of the war they fought. These are the things that you don't see, but this is the reality. As at 1600, their population shoot up to 1.6. This is a timeline of what Sweden looks like. Sweden, that so many of you will rather live in Sweden as a prisoner than live in Nigeria as a person. Yeah, Lori Buruku everywhere. You're right, Akim. Our national anthem of the Yoruba nation is so short, well articulated, and precise. You are very right, David Wasiu. Chris, Organ. Nowhere we can't continue to enslave any longer. Oduduwa nation must stand. We're talking about Sweden. Look at the timeline. By 1700, their population has gone up to 2.6 million. Good afternoon to you, Baba Michael Oguntoyibo. Ade Olota. We should be the umbrella of Africa. We should be the umbrella of Africa. If people don't seem to understand, people think this is a joke. Good afternoon, Bibire Odua on YouTube. Good afternoon to every one of you. Good morning. So when people don't understand that the reason why we want a Yoruba nation is, I read, okay, Omola says Swedish history in school, so I know a lot about them. We'll Rukayat, Mamawa, welcome on board. So who wants us to continue with one Nigeria? As at 1940, their population went to almost 7 million. But the Sweden of today are living a better life than you, where you say we are one big country. Once again, don't you understand? Let's look for another video of what their own country looks like. And when on that, they have to fight. They have a culture. And when on the culture, and they make sure that they keep their culture and their heritage. I'm just looking for another video to play you. Okay, Swedish. And now everybody wants to go and live there. And you become more problem for them. Sweden has a long history of migration. The recent immigration peak has posed a security challenge. This is the one I'm looking for. Something like this. Did you see this? So now, the more people that are going there, you have become security challenge for them. So let's read this a little bit. The same thing we are saying, Lagos, Southwest has become a threat because of the migration of Fulani people into that part of the world. Let's go into this. We are using Sweden today. Sweden and migration. Sweden has a long history of migration. The recent immigration peak. Why do you think people are going there? It's because they have a better life. Because the life there is far better. And I'm sure so many Nigerians are going around the country looking for a country where they can visit and they can sit down there permanently. Because our own country is not working. But it can work. But because we have allowed migration of the Fulani that has now penetrated every part of Southwest. So why do we continue with that? But beyond statistics and headlines are personal stories and a complex reality. Follow the timeline below to get the bigger picture of Sweden and the migration. So let's go into it. Now, the total population of Sweden in 1887 was 4.7 million. Do you know that they have the numbers of those that were giving birth? It was 140,000. Immigration was 4,000. Death was 76,000. Migration was minus 50,000. That was in 1887. The Great Migration, 1850 to 1939. Migration started early in Sweden during the Middle Age. Germans from the merchant trade community were the largest immigrant group. Roman people started migrating as early as 1500, while the Walloons, French-speaking people from Belgium, came to Sweden in the late 1600s as the country's iron industry began to develop. My question is, we have allowed people to come into our area. They are now about to encroach and kill us. If not, a king will not be killed in the Yoruba land. Sweden, one of the best countries in the world, according to Ola Omola. And this is what they don't want you to see. This is what they don't want you to know. Nothing is ever working in Nigeria, unfortunately. You're right. They know the game. They can't even, because as a Nigerian born and brought up in the Nigerian system, can't understand until they step out of the country before they will see Baba Jawa. Or Lariwaju comments there. Let's go back here again. Other key immigrant groups were the Jews, who started arriving in 1700 alongside the French artists and intellectuals. Do you know how many intellectuals we have all over the place as Yoruba people? In America, Germany, Russia. They can't come back home because there's no home to come back to. Once the brick buildings started popping up all over the country, Italian workers skilled in bricklaying and other school-cut work also started moving in. But no migration event has left a bigger mark on the Sweden cultural landscape than the huge migration of the Swedes to the Americans and the Australia from 1850 up until 1300. I am now telling us, why don't we want to keep our own heritage? Why are we scared to break away so that we can keep that heritage for a very long time? You're right. This is not going back. Yoruba nation is here to stay. And this is what they don't want you to know. Because those at home need to understand that, yes, we agree. We are not going to go anywhere. We will continue to be part of our own borderline. We will defend it. Everybody will be captured in a new system, not the Nigerian system anymore. That is what we are saying. Nigeria at the verge of breakup. This is a live broadcast, part 181 today, the 30th of November 2020. Let's go back into it. Top reason for leaving Sweden during the Great Migration: poverty, religious persecution, a lack of belief in the future, political constraint, a long for adventure and gold fever. This is the reason why people left there. But now, things turn around. So when I was here shouting in 2018 for a better life for Nigerians, did we get it? No.
Nigeria, a lot of people will say, what have the country done for me? I've not been able to enjoy anything out of this country as far as I'm concerned. But what you also have to remember is the country was at least able to give you the first step, that whether you now have that opportunity now or you're still working towards
so
your...
now, before I let that video come back again, all the steps that you have been given in Nigeria, because this is the eye mark that people will always say, oh, the country has done so much for you. I'm asking you now, can you give back to that country the way it is? Are you ready to sacrifice your life to go back to that country and continue to make it a better country? Shit, oh.
Goals, Nigeria is still the home for millions of us. Nigeria is still a place where we all are looking at it and thinking, we are not there yet as a country, but we are moving in that direction. Millions of us are connecting much more better.
Are we moving in that direction? Are we moving in that direction? Knowing what we know now, that the country is 419, are we moving in that direction? Let me come towards the end of that interview.
People's view, do not kill yourself for anybody. It's all madness. Nobody, if anybody says they die because of me, I'll say they will receive you in hell. Yeah? So don't die for anybody. Don't kill yourself for anybody.
Let me rewind that.
No matter how rich it might think it might be,
this was the
we should
summary
not
of
allow
that
you to use
interview.
us. Question them when they want to use you. If you don't question an idiot, you will continue to live in his stupidity because the good people are not questioning them. So let's question them and say, why do you want to use me for this? Can't you just use your popularity and go and get the votes yourself? They will not come to you. But once you go and receive money from them, you must deliver what the money has, what money you have received. You must deliver whatever. So you cannot come back and say, oh, this man is a bad man, because remember you are receiving blood money. So I advise Nigerians, don't collect any money from anybody. Go to the ballot and vote for the person of your kind. Don't worry. If the votes are malaligned, maybe rigged or anything, at least you know that you voted. Yeah, we can start questioning that integrity of that one in the court. Let us be civilized. There's no reason why anybody should be dying for any idiot. It's like me being saying that I'm leaving AAC, I'm going to AP, and people have started killing each other. I would say you are buffoons. Why are you killing each other because I said I'm leaving somebody? Who sent you to go and kill yourself? Don't kill yourself for me, because I have my family to run. Wow. I have my life to run. So nobody should die for any politician. That is my advice. Nobody should die for anybody, because no one died for Jesus.
Nobody should die.
Yes, nobody died for Jesus. Nobody died for anybody. So everybody will carry their own chorus. That's the fact. Wow. Okay?
Wow. Thank you very much. And I'll be back in London very soon. And we will also be engaging more with you on another roundtable. And, we hope.
Did you hear that? These are what a lot of you don't understand. We can come home, but after a while, we also can leave Nigeria. Because we know the country will never work. But this is the lies that a lot of people are deceiving you. Oh, no, let's work together. Let's try and fix those political parties. You cannot fix any political party. That interview that I did there was with another diaspora here in London in 2018. So, how many of you have died for Buhari during that campaign? Are they treating you better? Is APC treating you better? But now, you go back again to this country called Sweden, and let's go and look more. At some point, around we are looking at the timeline, 1850 to 1939, Sweden were also living. There were a bit of migration, and those reasons were poverty, religion persecution, lack of belief in the future, political constraint, a long of adventure and gold fever. Ṣé kò ń ṣe the same problem náà làwa náà ní nísìnyí? Is it not the same problem as Yoruba people, where everybody is running away? Is it not the same? Okay, I think it's quite. Let me increase the the front, because I want everybody to see what I'm reading. So I'm gonna increase the front there. Is it not the same reason why every one of you have left Nigeria? I'm talking about this reason that Sweden were also doing the same thing. Can anybody call +4475 940500979? Let us get your view. Ṣé kò ń ṣe ìdí tí àwọn Sweden náà fi ń sá lọ níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn? Ó dàbí ìjọ́ náà lọ́hùn, àmọ́ nísìnyí àwa wá ń lò bí history. Ìdí yẹn náà kàn ní gbogbo àṣẹ sá kúrò Nàìjíríà. When you talk about poverty, Nigeria is #1 capital poverty of the world. When you talk about religious persecution, it doesn't matter whether you're Muslim. They will behead you. I have already seen the picture of what took place in Borno. Àwọn tí wọ́n gé ní orí, wọ́n so wọ́n lọ́wọ́, wọ́n dẹ̀ gé wọn lórí, wọ́n wá gbé orí yẹn, wọ́n gbé sẹ́yìn wọn. They were slaughtered. The government said they are 43, but we now know there are about 111 people that were slaughtered. My question now is it not the same reason that the Yorubas, the Igbo, are all running out of the country for the poverty level, religious persecution, lack of belief in the future? How many of you believe that there's a future in Nigeria for you? Èèyàn mélòó ló lè fọwọ́ gbáyà pé future wà lọ́wọ́ mi nínú Nigeria, that I have a hope and a future? How many of you? How many people can do that? Can say categorically, don't look, forget about those 419 diaspora that tell you Nigeria will work. I have told you constantly that they are 419. If any diaspora is telling you Nigeria is work, you better start telling them to come back home. Kẹjọwá máa suffer. Kò ní wá. Kàkà kó wá, do you know the other way they will do? They will come as NGOs. I'm not saying they are not working very hard, but do we need NGOs? Do we really need NGOs? Where you can collect, you say you are NGO, then you become a celebrity or some NGOs, they are coming to solve the problem. It's good, but that is not going to solve the problem in the long term. We are talking about the future. The future. This is why the reason why the Swedish were also traveling out of their country as far back as 1800. That figure equals 20% of the men, 15% of women born at the end of 1800. As many as 1.1 million native Swedes left the country to escape poverty, religious persecution, and to seek a better life for themselves and their families. Is that not the same thing that the Yoruba people are facing now? Is that not the same thing? That we as Yorubas, we are suffering the same persecution as Christians, as Muslims. We cannot practice even our own tradition anymore because the Fulani, look, do you know that the Fulani don't agree with our tradition? In Jemobe, do you know that the Fulani does not agree with our tradition? If not, what Kabiesi? If they respect Kabiesi, whoever, even if it was not a Fulani man, seeing that that person in the vehicle was a king, they would have said, no, let's respect the king. We are not looking for the king. We allow the king to kakabe wayamu to king. So I am asking everybody today, do you know that in 1800, the Swedish were running away just like we did as well? So now we have the Yoruba diaspora. Some of you are quick to say, oh, we have that man, a Yoruba man that owns Gatwick. Can he not own the same thing in Nigeria? He can't, because it's not going to work. But rather, they gave Dangote more opportunity. And you say that we are one. Babawa Ogulisi, the one that owns Gatwick Airport, do you know that it would have transformed our own airport? But are they going to give him the opportunity? No. Why do you think he's not investing his money in Nigeria? Have you asked that question? He's a diaspora as well. So when you see the Yoruba people that are performing very well, their generation have run out of the country for one reason or the other. Can anybody call me and defend that? Which one? Which one is yours? Plus 4475 94050 Which one is yours? What was the reason why you migrated? What was the reason why your grandparents, your mother, your father, somebody must have migrated before you were born in America? At least you can give thanks to them because they run away for poverty or persecution, even because some of them disagree with the political party. Let's hear your view. How many of you let it sakuro nínú Nigeria for poverty, religious persecution, lack of belief in the future, political constraint, a longing for adventure and gold fever? Even those that went for like long term, what they call backpack, they cannot go back home because there's no home to go back to. So who is now saying that we should keep one Nigeria? Nothing to show for or boastfully for about one Nigeria rather than pain and agony and bitterness. How many people run out of the country for these 5 reasons? Even if you went and studied, have you gone back home? Because some people will say, I came to study. Have you returned back home? So let me give this illustration. I was having a conversation yesterday with someone. Some of you do not know that it takes so long before your immigration status is given, right? You fight, you pay money, you cry, but now we are in the process of getting the Yoruba nation. Oh, you don't understand that it will take a lot of pain, it will take a lot of fight to get it. But when you get your immigration status, you can see how you were laughing in the house. You have now forgotten all the pain. The pain that you went through in the process of getting your residency in America, in Canada, in UK, wherever you are living. Ẹ ti gbàgbé, but nígbà tí ìrọ̀rùn wá dé, ẹlòmíì jọ́tọ̀ fún níwèé yẹn báyìí. Ó ti gbàgbé pé òun tẹ̀ náwó. Now we tell people to pay money, to donate. Some of you now like, ìrọ̀ owó yẹn, they donate o. Koiki ojoojúmọ́ ló ń béèrè owó. Kí ló dé? Ojoojúmọ́ ló ń béèrè owó. Ojoojúmọ́. But when we get a Yoruba nation, you know that they're not going to ask me anymore how much they're paid. And we appreciate every individual that is contributing, whether on this platform, whether on another platform, it doesn't matter. Some of you don't even want us to mention your name. But everything that you are doing, you are not doing it for me. We are doing it for the history, so that we don't have the next generation running out of the Nigeria for the same reason that one generation, how many of your generation have left Nigeria? How many of your generation? So when we talk about the Swedish, this is what they were doing as well. They were running out of their country for that same reason: poverty, religious persecution, because they had maybe then some tyrant government that were killing Christians, killing anybody that was doing their own cultural or traditional, religion. Do you know that Fulani does not believe in our traditional religion? Bones, okay.
Mo fẹ́ kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ó mọ̀ pé tá a bá dìde láti gbára wa, òyìnbó kankan ò rẹ́dì láti wá gbà wá. Kò sí ìlú tó wà lẹ́nìí tó lálàáfíà tọ́kàn wọn balẹ̀ tí wọ́n la orun tá à ń là kọjá yìí tí wọ́n là kọjá. Wọ́n dẹ̀ dìde fún òmìnira ara wọn ní. Ṣé rí gbogbo ilé ìta ń sọ táyì ṣe ń fọwọ́ ra ara wa lórí yìí? Àánú wa ṣe mí lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Torí àwọn tó gbógun tì wá, wọ́n fẹ́ pa ìran wa run ní. Wọ́n fẹ́ kí ìran Yorùbá wà mọ́. Ṣé rí number one ọ̀tá tá a ní? náà ní Yorùbá ara wa. Lẹ́nu ọjọ́ mẹ́ta la mọ̀ wípé àwọn tá à ń wò gẹ́gẹ́ bí ènìyàn yìí, bí ènìyàn ìyẹn níwájú, gẹ́gẹ́ bí aṣíwájú, ẹranko ayé wọ̀run ni wọ́n. Fúlàní, ìwádìí jẹ́ ká mọ̀ wípé àwọn kan lọ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn Fúlàní yẹn lọ ń kó àwọn ọmọ wọn wá ká máa ṣe màálù lọ́dọ̀ wa níbà yìí. Òun lọ fi ń pariwo tí wọ́n fi dá wa lóhùn. Ṣé ẹni tí Yorùbá ò bá dìde ká jẹ ìjà ká gbára wa? Báyìí diplomacy tẹ́lẹ̀ fẹ́ lò kò lè ràn wá lọ́wọ́. Torí àwọn aríjẹnímọ̀dàrú àárín Yorùbá gan ó pọ̀ ju àwọn Fúlàní tó ń lé wa lọ. Agbẹ́dọ̀ dìde. This is a real war. Tí gbogbo wa dẹ̀ pẹ̀tọ́ tágbẹ́dọ̀ dojú ìjà kọ́. Mi ò fẹ́ kú kò ní tóye ilé bàbá ẹ̀. Tí a bá dẹ̀ dìde ká gba ìran Yorùbá, àrọ́mọdọ́mọ wa á máa fún wa lépè ni. Tá a bá dẹ̀ dìde ká sọ wípé enough is enough. Fún àwọn tó ṣílẹ̀kùn fún olè ìta láti wá máa jà wá lógun. Ní ànámọ́jú, wọ́n kidnap èèyàn kan lẹ́kìtì. Ìyá àtọmọ. Wọ́n kidnap wọn kí àwọn aráàlú gbá tẹ̀lé wọn nínú igbó. Nínú àwọn Fúlàní yẹn, 5 náà pè wọ́n. Wọ́n rí 2 pàánù wọn. Tí gbogbo wa ò bá dìde, òru làwọn wèrè yìí wá. Àwọn ọba wa dẹ̀ mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀. Àwọn tó gbéra wọn ní bílíọ̀nìà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, wọ́n máa ń pa ẹ̀. Ọ̀daràn ni wọ́n, olè ni wọ́n. Tá a bá gbójú ìjà tiwọn, ká gbógun tiwọn, wọn à ní jẹ́ kí ìràwọ̀ ó sinmi. Ẹ kú ètò bàbá mi.
Every time we are doing a show, the number is always there. But because people sometimes do not look at the whole screen, some of you don't even read what is the write-up at the bottom. That is the number. The number is there. If I can see it from another screen, and I'm monitoring about 3 different devices here, the number is +4475 940500979. That is the number at the bottom there if you'd like to add the voice to it. Let's now move forward. I've given you the reason why the Swedes left their country in 1870. As at that time, their population was 4.1 million. Is that not the same country? You are praying to get a visa so that you can go there. And some of you that have got residency in UK, you now want to move to Sweden because you know that they've got a better life for your own children, Abi. Your own children. Elumi, I'm analyze, man, I'm looking for a country where, my son can go and then he has a better life. But you forgot that your son generation is going into extinction. Oh, you have forgotten now because you are thinking that you are in Europe. So your son that you are looking for a better life, but your son will never know your own heritage anymore. Ọmọ tiẹ̀ kò ní ever mọ heritage tiẹ̀ mọ́. Because you know why? Because you have neglected what you are not meant to neglect. You have literally left it. Sorry, bí tí wọ́n ti wò pé, look, some people, they are looking for countries where, especially the diaspora. I know what I'm talking about. It's good to look for a better life. But do you also know that our generation will go into extinction? Ẹja lọ bá màmá wa sọ̀rọ̀. Màmá wa ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò.
Hello.
Ẹ ti gbóhùn ẹ wọlé.
Ẹ kú ètò.
Ètò nìyẹn. Ẹ mute the background. Mo ní nọ́mbà yín lọ́wọ́. Ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ sọ ẹ fún mi sẹ́ mo ní nọ́mbà yín. Ẹ bá mute background yẹn pátápátá.
Mo ti pa bẹ́ẹ̀ torí fún òkèjì mo fi ń wò yìí. Mo ní ẹ kú ètò.
Ètò nìyẹn.
Ṣé rí bí nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ sọ tí a bá jà fún ara wa kò sí àwọn kankan tó máa jà fún wa.
Àgbọ́yé.
Wọn ò lè jà fún wa torí pé ṣé ráwọn olówó tó wà láàrin wa. Ṣé mo pé owó tó yẹ kí wọ́n fi tọ́jú wa náà tẹ́ bá mọ ọ̀nà tí gbogbo fi lówó ọ̀hún ṣé wọ́n pọ̀ ọ̀nà Yorùbá kàrúùrù náà lọ sí lówó. Ṣé mo pé most of them ṣé mo pé gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ló fi wọ́n front.
Oh yes.
Tó fi ní owó yìí. Owó tó yẹ kí wọ́n fi tọ́jú mẹ̀kúnnù òun náà fi sọ wọ́n di olówó lẹ́nu. Dẹ àwọn tó dẹ̀ tún jẹ́ politician wọ̀nyẹn náà owó tó yẹ kí wọ́n fi tọ́jú wa kó fi ṣe nǹkan wọ́n dáko láyé ìyá ara wọn. So ìgbàgbọ́ wọn dẹ̀ ni pé wọ́n ò lè irú àwọn èèyàn báyìí wọ́n ò lè jà fún wa. Hello sir.
Mo ń gbádùn mo fi interrupt ni.
So wọ́n dẹ̀ máa lo àwọn ọkọ̀ láàrin wa ṣé wọn káwọn kan wà láàrin wa náà tó jẹ́ pé oníjẹ ìyà ni wọ́n bí ṣó tí mo ṣe láàárọ̀ pé àwọn baba ńlá wa wọ́n ṣe trade by barter. Wọ́n sọ àwa ìran àwọn bàbá kan nínú àwọn ọba kan wọ́n fi ìran wa wọ́n fi yáwó lọ́wọ́ òyìnbó wọ́n sọ wá di ẹrú lénìí wọ́n sọ wá di Nàìjíríà. So wọ́n ta ọjọ́ iwájú wọn lénìí ìyà ìjẹ àwa ọmọ. So irú àwọn èèyàn burú báyìí náà wọ́n sì pọ̀ ní àárín wa ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá yẹn especially àwọn tí a fi ká rò pé wọ́n jẹ́ èèyàn yẹn tó jẹ́ pé wọn ò ń ṣe èèyàn fẹ́ kó wọ́n kàn fi wọ́n fà àwọn èèyàn sọ́run ṣùgbọ́n ẹranko ni wọ́n ṣó ti yẹ yín nísìnyí tó wọn ò lè ràn wá lọ́wọ́ irú àwọn èèyàn báyẹn kọ̀ọ̀kan wá máa sponsor àwọn èèyàn míì lábẹ́ láti máa discourage wa pé kí a má jà fún ẹ̀tọ́ ìtorí pé wọn ò fẹ́ òmìnira ìtorí àwọn pé tí a bá ti lómìnira wọ́n mọ̀ pé àwọn máa tẹ́ ṣe understand so wọ́n mọ̀ pé agbára wọn máa já irú àwọn politician wọ̀nyẹn ṣe pé tá a bá ti gbòmìnira gbogbo agbára tí wọ́n ní ìyẹn ó máa padà
ó máa reduce bẹ́ẹ̀ ni
ó máa padà wọ́n máa start afresh so torí pé kí ni gbogbo wa la máa jọ jòkó kan ní constitution kò ní ṣe pé òyìnbó kan ló wá kọ constitution kan lé wa lọ́wọ́ àti ìṣẹ̀ṣe àti gbogbo wa la máa jọ kọ constitution yẹn so nítorí ìdí èyí wọn ò fẹ́ ká ní òmìnira àwọn náà máa ṣiṣẹ́ so àwa tá a mọ̀ pé ó ti sú then àwọn tó wà nílùú òyìnbó tí wọ́n rò pé ìlú òyìnbó dùn mọ́ wọn tí wọ́n ronú ti ilé náà iye tí wọn náà ti ra ni torí tí iye wọn ò bá ra wọ́n á mọ̀ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ní ṣe rí kọ́lọ̀ la ṣe máa rí táwọn náà bá kúrò òkè ẹ wo àwọn èèyàn dúdú wa tó wà ní Amẹ́ríkà lẹ́nu ẹjọ́ ta ló lè fi ìgbé ayé wọn tọrọ fún ọmọ ta ló lè fi ìgbé ayé wọn tọrọ lẹ́nu ẹjọ́ brọ́dà mi àwọn èèyàn dúdú wa àwọn Jamaica àwọn ọmọ ìyá wa ni wọ́n ṣe kó difficult fún láti lè relate pẹ̀lú wọn ǹjẹ́ a lè fi ìgbé ayé wọn tọrọ ṣé àwọn nítorí pé wọ́n sọnù sóko ẹrú ayé wọn bàjẹ́ lẹ́ni òun là ṣe lè fi wọn tọrọ mọ́ bí Ọlọ́run má yẹ ká yí ọjọ́ ọ̀la àwọn ọmọ wa náà rí bẹ́ẹ̀ o torí táwa náà bá lọ tán àwọn ọmọ tá a bí sí lóyìnbó yìí kó má di pé àwọn náà bí àwọn ti Jamaica yẹn náà ìgbà táwọn bàbá làwọn débẹ̀ kí ṣe wọ́n ṣe hùwà nìyẹn ṣùgbọ́n lẹ́yìn ṣe rí pé bí ayé wọn ṣe rí so àwọn èèyàn wa tó wà ń lo òyìnbó náà tí wọn ò ronú pé ó yẹ kí àwọn darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lẹ́yìn iye wọn ra ni wọ́n rò bóyá torí pé àwọn ti ní ìwé àbáwọn ti ní kankan ìyẹn ni end of the road bọ̀ kọ́ ronú ti wá ọjọ́ iwájú pé ọjọ́ iwájú ayé àwọn ọmọ wọn ni àwọn fúnra ara wọn bàjẹ́ ọjọ́ iwájú ayé àwọn ọmọ wọn ni wọ́n bàjẹ́ àwọn olówó yẹn náà tó rò fáwọn olówó sí ọjọ́ ọmọ kan tó lè ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ọgọ́rùn-ún ọdún síbi báyìí ẹnìkan ò láyé wọn òpònú ni wọ́n àwa táwọn pé kíní ìkálára ìyẹn ìmọ̀ràn tẹ̀mí kan fẹ́ fún wa ni pé àwa ò ní give up bí mo ṣe sọ láàárọ̀ mo ní nísìnyí tẹ́lómi tẹ máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n á sọ pé Kóìkì yẹn ọmọ kékeré yẹn báwo ló ṣe ń yájú ságbà ṣùgbọ́n kì í ṣe Kóìkì ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn alálẹ̀ ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ nínú Kóìkì alálẹ̀ tó bá fẹ́ bá àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ tó bá fẹ́ pe Aláàfin ó máa pè ní orúkọ ló máa pè kò lè pè ní bàbá so tálálẹ̀ bá wọnú ọmọ láti sọ̀rọ̀ pé tó bá fẹ́ ṣe correction irú tá a bá wà ní ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì ń sìn tá a fi ẹ̀mí gbéyàn tó ń jíṣẹ́ ṣé ló máa ń lò ní ẹ̀rí pé owó lá máa lò fún àgbàlagbà bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni the same thing náà ni so kí ni mo ń tà láti sọ ni pé àwa tí Ọlọ́run sì mí sínú wa àti gbogbo àwọn èèyàn wa ń lé tí a rí pé ìyà yìí ti sú wa àwa là á ní sinmi because wọ́n ní a gbọ́dọ̀ máa ti tábà máa jẹ́ kí àwọn ará ilé yìí mọ̀ pé nǹkan tí wọ́n ń ṣe ò dáa wọ́n tára ilé ẹni bá ń jẹ kòkòrò búburú kẹ́ ẹ̀ jẹ́ kó mọ̀ wọ́n ní ẹ̀rẹ̀ ohun ẹ̀ kò ní jẹ́ kó sùn jẹ́ kí wọ́n mọ̀ pé kòkòrò tó so a ní láti jẹ́ kí wọ́n mọ̀ pé nǹkan tí wọ́n ń ṣe ò dáa bẹ́ẹ̀ ni nǹkan tí wọ́n ń ṣe ò dáa mo dẹ̀ gbàdúrà pé àwọn alálẹ̀ tó ti gbé yín dìde wọn ò ní padà lẹ́yìn ọwọ́ ayé ò ní ká yín o ọwọ́ ayé ò ní ká yín ọwọ́ ọ̀tá ò ní ká yín nǹkan tí ẹ̀dẹ̀ ń fẹ́ fún ìran Yorùbá torí pé kì í ṣe fún ara yín you have British passport tẹ́yìn náà bá greedy tẹ́bá bó ṣe wọ́wọ́ sí nílùú òyìnbó tá a wà lẹ́yìn tẹ́yìn bá dákú rẹ̀ tẹ̀ èèyàn máa gbowó bàbá àbí but you are not thinking of that you are thinking of your people at home so gbogbo ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá dẹ̀ sọ pé kò ní ṣe é ṣe àti ojúkójú tó bá lòun máa wò yín ojú náà máa fọ́ ni pẹ̀lú àṣẹ Òdùmarè àwọn alálẹ̀ wọ́n máa fi ẹ̀jẹ̀ wọn wọ́n máa fi ṣe ètùtù gbogbo ẹni tó bá sọ pé àwa ọmọ Yorùbá pé àní kúrò lóko ẹrú yìí àwọn alálẹ̀ máa fi wọ́n ṣe ètùtù.
àṣẹ Èdùmàrè.
Wọ́n máa fi ẹ̀jẹ̀ wọn máa fi ṣe
àṣẹ
ètùtù
Èdùmàrè.
pẹ̀lú àṣẹ Èdùmàrè yìí ní sọ̀jù bẹ́ẹ̀
àṣẹ
yẹn lọ.
gan màmá
Ẹ
wa.
máa bẹ́tò lọ.
àṣẹ gan ni. Now I'm gonna fast forward from 1870. I hope pé ẹ̀ ń tẹ̀lé wa lọ. Ṣé rí ìdí tí somebody was telling me on one of our comments on YouTube that our parents left Nigeria in the 1980s because the father was not paid for 1 year as a civil engineer. Are you on the same bracket? What was the reason why your generation run out of the country before you were giving birth? Kí ni ìdí tó di pé generation tiẹ̀ ló wá enjoy nísì àmọ́ ò care nípa the next generation? Ẹ já lọ sí Èkìtì where we have another caller.
Hello, ẹ káàsán o.
Ẹ káàsán.
Akí gbogbo ilé o. Àdẹ̀kùṣẹ́ takuntakun náà òdòdó àgbèwà o.
Àṣẹ o.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí nǹkan tí ẹ ti ń sọ látàárọ̀ sá, kò sí nǹkan méjì tí a ní sí láti gbé ká lọ gbáradì. Mo ní láti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ọ̀rọ̀ wọn ọba wa náà. Mo ní bílí pé ó yẹ kí àwọn ọba wa sìn kó ti máa kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ sí ipa kan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Ondo State. Àwọn ọ̀gá mi àṣírí kan tó wá tún sí ní Ondo, the same Ondo State yẹn. Epo ọ̀rẹ́ tẹ́ ń wò yẹn sá. Ṣé mo fún àwọn pípé ń wà? Ṣé ẹ mọ̀ wọ́n ti ń wà? Wọ́n lè bá lọ́tọ̀ wáyé pé wọ́n ti wà epo yẹn. Mo ní ẹ̀gbọ́n tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ń bẹ̀ tí ẹ̀gbọ́n yẹn ní láti máa tú àṣírí yẹn sí mi lọ́wọ́. Torútorú wọ́n ń wá epo yẹn náà. Wọ́n ti ń wá epo yẹn. Àwọn ọba wa dẹ̀ jókòó síbẹ̀, wọ́n dẹ̀ ń tàn wá, wọ́n tún bá wa tàn, wọ́n tún tàn wá. Àwọn ọba yìí kán kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ báyìí o, tó bá kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ a máa kọjú ìjà sí wọn. Mi ò yájú sórí adé. Àmọ́ nǹkan tó bá ń ká ìlú lára èèyàn tó bá sọ pé àtà ọjọ́ ọ̀la ni kó tó rí ta àkọjú ìjà sí. Ẹ̀jọ̀ ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá tẹ̀ ń gbọ́ mi, ẹ lọ máa múra. Yes, àti lójú ogun, ẹ lọ máa múra. Mi ò ní sọ jù bẹ́ẹ̀.
Ẹ ṣe gan. Again, I'm asking everybody. Sherry, there are so many generations that have left Nigeria. Sherry, our generation and they left for different reasons. Ìwọ ló máa mọ reason ti generation tiẹ̀ tó ṣe kúrò Nigeria. I left over 2 decades ago. O máa tán pè ní 2 decades. 20 years. I left Nigeria 20 years ago. And I was still in Nigeria 2 years ago, shouting, asking Nigeria government to take care of the people. The message is loud and clear. You've been able to give your own view on what you think the way forward. And we also want to say thank you to all the viewers that have watched. A lot of comments. We can't take everything. And let me look at some of the comments. Somebody there, Michael Femi says, say no to PDP, APC, they are criminals. That was a comment in 2018. My question now is, this is Sweden. Let's move forward and go into another timeline. This is Carl Emanuel Arnold, a Swedish migrant. In 1908, and I guess 1908 was when Abeokuta Grammar School was formed, if I'm right. Let me quickly check that. Abeokuta Grammar School, the school I attended, I guess it's 1908. So when you all don't understand that history, see what it distorts, is having a big impact on every one of us. Everybody, the history is having a big impact. And our people don't even have any knowledge of history again. I have found it. Let me now show you. 1908, right? This is a picture of 1908. Remember, Carl Emanuel Arnold left Sweden for the US, but first he had his picture taken. Go to the The same way some of you took your picture before you were traveling out of Nigeria. Let me show you Abeokuta Grammar School. That is the school I attended. And that same school, right, was set up in 1808. That's it. Ìpìlẹ̀ ìbẹ̀rù Olúwa ní ìpìlẹ̀ ọgbọ́n. School tí mo lọ lélẹ̀, Abeokuta Grammar School. 1908. You now ask yourself, go back to this school. It has become dilapidated that they are not even up to date with the current technology. Even the students do not have as simple as email address. So when you now say people, go and sign petition, I want on the email address.
You can see where our problem is all entangled. Now, this person traveled, right, in 1908. Just the same way, my sister there say her parent left Nigeria in 1980. And for the reason of so many people left Nigeria for different reasons, is because of, let's say, they left Nigeria, a lack of belief in the future. So this is my sister that has become the next generation of our family. The parent left Nigeria in 1980 because the father is a civil engineer, a Yoruba man that should have become maybe engineer that would have networked the whole Yoruba land. But they refused to pay the salary for 1 year. Are they still not yet paying salary? In 2020. Salary that was not paid in 1980, people are still not yet paid. But like she said here, lot of first and second generation Nigerian Americans do not identify with the ethnic identity. In a few generations, their ethnicity will be wiped out and they will be referred to as Black Americans. So when people say we are Black American, go and ask them where exactly is their real culture. Where are they coming from? The peak year of the Great Migration was 1887, when more than 50,000 people left Sweden, most of them to America. This record was only broken in 2011, when more than 51,000 migrated from the country. But this time, mostly to other European countries, some to US, China. It is also worth noting that 1887, the migrant made up 1% of the population in 2011. So you can see that the same way, imagine if I don't start talking about Yoruba nation now, another 40 years from now, it will be 4 decades I've left Nigeria. If we refuse, just like those that left in the 80s, those that left in the 90s, those that left in the 70s, in the 60s, they are now in their old age. The only thing they can do for us now is pray for us so that we can get our people liberated as quickly as possible. As at 1870, we were told, according to the Sweden, that they had people that were giving birth 119,000, no immigration as at that time. Do you know how many immigration or immigrants are now trying to look for way to get the Sweden passport? Or the Swedish, if you want to call it that way. Nothing has changed since 1918. They are still owing salary, Yoruba Eronu. So when your government is still owing salary in 21st century, then you ask yourself, why should we keep Nigeria? I'm going to fast forward. We don't have to go into all the details. But what I'm going to do is, let's now come back to another timeline. So I'm going to move straight quickly, right? Different timeline. No, let's move fast. Let's go faster. Let's go faster. Are we going forward or backwards? 1942, 1952. The population was 7 million. Now, 1972, the population was 8 million. 1982, the population started coming up. Yoruba people started running to Sweden. I'm sure some of them were part of the immigration that were now 30,000. Migration, nobody was going anywhere anymore. Sweden was becoming a better place to stay. Migration was minus 28,000. Let's go further, faster. 1992, immigration went up because the Yoruba people and the Biafra people that went to Sweden started bringing their family from Nigeria back to Sweden and the rest of the globe as well. Immigration went up by 45,000. You can see why we say, let us break Nigeria. Let's move forward. In 2002, oh my Lord, immigration has jumped up in Sweden to 84,000. Have you asked yourself why? The life there is more better. Let's look more further. By 2012, everybody was now looking for Swedish passport. Let's go and see what their passport looks like. Sweden, their passport. Do you know? Okay, why has this thing changed? I don't like Yahoo. I prefer Google. That's why I'm struggling to get what I'm looking for. I have to change that quickly. All right. Let's look for Sweden passport. Do you know their passport has more value? Let's see what the passport looks like. I'm sure everybody wants to own this passport. I pray you will get that passport by God's grace. But we can also start asking ourselves, we can get a better country called a Yoruba nation. We can do so if only every one of us fight to get a Yoruba nation now. But if we refuse to, that means Nigeria will become our country for the rest of our life, and Nigeria will never, never, never take care of anybody. So I'm asking us, let us end Nigeria now. Let us end Nigeria now. This is what we are saying to people. Look, let's see. Everybody now wants to become a Sweden citizen. Every one of us. Everybody in Nigeria is asking for, how do I become a Swedish? Because their passport has meaning compared to this 419 passport, Nigerian passport. So when people say Nigeria that is already a scam, now that we know it's a scam, why must we keep that shit old passport? Why do you want to keep this passport as against this passport? Ask yourself, my school was established Iberuoluwa ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọgbọ́n. I went to this school, ABJECT Grammar School, established in July 1908. Can you compare that? Where every school children do not have access to quality education. And this is what it looks like. All this chair, everything here is donated by the Old Student Association because the school does not have no money. And the government, Abiodun and the previous one, you can see, ABJECT Grammar School. This is the school I went to. And we have brilliant Yoruba people that passed out from there. Do you know how many people that are Yoruba passed out from these schools? And this is a generation that a lot of people do not understand. So when I say to you, let us end Nigeria, everything you are seeing here was donated. You can see everything, just like any other school across the Southwest. Everyone don't donate for school. Let us continue to donate. We donate classroom. This is a classroom. Can you see that? I'm sure Old Student Association will look at it. They say, hey, move block here. And they're all over the place. They have them. I have them here in UK. And they will say, let us keep one Nigeria so that we can continue to fund and secure the life of the children in ABJECT Grammar School. Hypocrite people. So many of them, Old Student Association, they say, no, shut up. You are talking about Nigeria? No, we want to keep Nigeria. But every year, they want to let you donate money so that they can repair this building. They will call every student. Everybody has their own year. My year was 1995 when I left the school. So we now have a group. So those group now will say, so what are we going to donate to the school? As if we are the problem of the school. If a Yoruba land like Obafemi Awolowo left it, was the school meant to be in a deplorable state? So the kids' school were in a deplorable state. But everybody has kept quiet. The diaspora that has a bit of money, we say we will take the large share. The one in Nigeria that are doing maybe a little bit better, they will also contribute their little one as well. Shaping school, America, Lele. Can you see? ABJECT Grammar School. I don't know when all these pictures were taken, but I can tell you these are pictures taken from the school. Can you see? Maybe a governor was coming, or maybe Baba Gosime, maybe the vice president was coming. So they probably put egg. There's no meat on the food. You can see there's no meat. So they probably look at like, so that when the vice president comes, they will say, hey, Ruga money is working. 419 country. And this is the generation that we're talking about. As you can see from some of this picture, you can see we have brilliant people that that finish from the school. Brilliant people. Can you compare any school? Fela went there. I'm sure some of you never know that. Abekuta Grammar School. Maybe that's where my spirit is coming from. Who knows? Fela Nicola Kukuti. He attended Abekuta Grammar School. So many prominent people. Yoruba people. But this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Maybe the spirit of this man, Wole Soyinka, was also a student of Abekuta Grammar School. The question now is, can you now compare all these with the Fulanis that have no knowledge of anything? But everybody keeps quiet because the old student association, they're all over the world. One in America, one in the UK. Our land donate over. I'm sure you are donating as well. £1 is 581 naira. Very good. Nigeria at the verge of breakup. It will eventually break. Let's give you a background of this school. If only it was working. I'm going to close it and then open it again. Yeah, this is what I love. I love Google. Let me now give you a background of Abekuta Grammar School. Let's give you a bit of the background of it. And you ask yourself, in 2020, this should have become a top-notch school. But they don't have all the facility in the Yoruba land. The school was founded in 1908 by Abekuta District Church Council. This is what the Fulani does not like. They are not interested for Christians to be part of that country. Academically, students of Abekuta Grammar School entered for examination by the Royal College of Precision in 1909, and they sat for Cambridge local examination in 1911. It became a mixed institution in 1914 with the admission of girls in 1939. The school presented students for Cambridge School Certificate Examination, and in 1996 was elevated to the status of a model school by the Nigerian 419 government. We are called Agzoba. I am an Agzoba as well. Agzoba is an association of these old students, boys and girls of Abekuta Grammar School, and is the oldest student association in Nigeria, headed by the national body known as Central Executive Committee. Now, my question is, this is Sweden, where immigration in 2012 has jumped up. Nigerians were part of them. Nigerians that were looking for hope because of the contraction of Nigeria, where there is no hope. As at 2012, Nigerians were also part of those applying for immigration in Sweden. They would rather be a prisoner in Sweden than live in Nigeria, where there's poverty, religious persecution, a lack of belief in future, political constraint, and a long adventure for gold fever. Even poultry in UK will never look like a school in Nigeria. You're quite right. Fulani are intentionally destroying everything in Yoruba land. Sunday Clement, you're quite right. Bobby Black, good evening. Ebenezer Akiyemi. Yoruba, the wiser people all over the globe. May God bless my country, Yoruba country. Prince Oluwasegun. So Taban Sokwe, let us leave Nigeria. You don't know that these were brains of Nigerians. Schools that were available, making life meaningful for everybody. We were well trained. Do you know that so many people don't even understand what a Yoruba nation will be like in less than 5 years from the day we become our own independent country? Do you know how many brilliant from different parts of the schools, from Ijebu-Ode Grammar School? Name all the schools in Southwest. Can you compare them with those Fulani nasty people? genius all over the place. But you know why they cannot grow? Because it's a shit-hole country. Shit-hole. Location 419. People will need to end bad government. Not just end bad government. We break up that shit-hole. So when you say we should keep one Nigeria, it's because some of you are also looking to go and migrate to Sweden. You can see their immigration went up. It went up to 103,000 as at 2012. Let's move forward and see where it is now. By 2019, immigration don't go up. Everybody don't run away. Yes, can somebody tell us the full meaning of Nigeria? It's a fraud. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. That let us break the shit hole so that we can have a better life. So that everybody can enjoy what they call a new nation. And this is what we've done. You can see Sweden, post-war immigration. We started with that. Let me see if I can get a video of what Sweden looks like today. I already showed you their passport. How many people want their passport as against Nigerian passport? Who is ready to trade their passport, the Nigerian passport, for a Sweden passport today? How many people? Especially those at home, because the diaspora, maybe it's one or two, we look at their education system in Sweden, their healthcare. Some people prefer some of this country than UK. How many people we prefer, especially those of you in Nigeria asking for one Nigeria? End SARS. The end SARS is not the problem. Let us end Nigeria. Let's look at the Sweden passport. Let's see what they talk about it on video. I'm just going to look at random. Germany and Sweden have the world's most powerful passport. This is what I'm looking for. I don't hold the copyright to the video. Is it a video? The world's most powerful passport let travelers into 158 countries without a visa. So if you have a Swedish passport, it can allow you to travel into 158 countries. If you have a citizenship in Sweden or Germany, you are one of the two most powerful passports in the world. Swedes and the Germans can fly to 158 countries without ever purchasing or showing a visa. This is what we are. Understand in terms so. Sherry, these are why we are saying that let us come out from Nigeria. Nigeria is not. How many places you can travel with your passport? This 419 passport. How many places? Yes, I know there's a protest coming for the end SARS, and we are also visiting the Kings this week. Let's share Dumari. We are paying them a courtesy visit, whether they like it or not. We are coming. But let's come back here. Where were we again? Looking at the passport. This makes international travel cheaper and easier than it is for citizens of other countries. Those from Syria and Somalia, by contrast, can only enter 31 countries without a visa. These stark differences are revealed in the passport index, which ranks countries based on the number of nations where citizens can go without getting a visa. Global financial advisory firm Acton Capital compiled government data from 193 countries and 6 territories to create the 2016. Let's look at them. Let's look this up. And this is how you learn, because you don't know citizenship. Okay, let me just focus back on the message. We know now, but I'm looking for a video to play. I don't want to read the write-up. 3 things you should know when booking a flight to a foreign country. No, that's not what we're looking for. I need where they're talking about advantage. Let's put it that way. That way it will bring more. Hey, Team Mokwe, Nigeria. Advantage of a Swedish passport. Let us take a look at these. I don't own the copyright to it.
Or visa-free travel and ease of travel. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson, editor-at-large of nomadcapitalist.com, where we share tips on finding more freedom, more opportunity, and a better lifestyle beyond your own borders. Now, we recently put up a list at nomadcapitalist.com sharing the most valuable passports. Surveys come out every year showing how many countries each passport has visa-free or visa on arrival access to. And so we went through and combed through all this information and figured out which were the absolute best based on countries that each passport has access to, etc. Now, many people in the United States would like to believe that the U.S. passport is the most valuable, and while the U.S. passport is a decent travel document for getting to a lot of different countries without needing a visa, it's not number one. In fact, it's in the third or fourth tier overall, which puts it maybe in the top 20. So let's get into the list of the top 5 most valuable passports for visa-free travel. Starting our way at number 5, Denmark is the 5th most valuable passport on Earth. Danish passport holders have visa-free or VOA access to 172 countries. That obviously includes pretty much all of Europe, the Americas, the most common tourist destinations. Now, Denmark, of course, is one of the richest countries on Earth, so its passport holders have unfettered access to the Schengen area in borderless Europe. Now, there was talk a couple years ago about all the people coming into Denmark, and some of them potentially even getting passports. Illegal immigrants, that's long been a point of contention in Denmark. And they wanted to actually try and crack down on their borders and impose new restrictions, which the EU balked at. And a newly elected Danish government actually scrapped that proposal later in the year.
Did you hear that? Before we go into the video, because I'll analyze some of what he's saying there. You heard that he was saying that the Danish were also trying to curb the immigration. If you don't curb immigration, Fulani will just become, they will just flood everywhere that they've done already. But the thing is, I want to they settle down. They are not interested to settle down with all because they believe that they are more superior than a Yoruba man and a Yoruba woman. So when you now say, I'm a Nigerian, hello, where can your passport take you to as Nigerian? Ibo ni passport Nigerian passport, completely useless. 419. How do you get people out of a shithole if you don't give them the breakdown of why Nigeria is not working? So if the passport is not a problem, so what is the problem? If we have a Yoruba nation and our passport is better than other countries as well, why would anybody want to leave the country? Let's go back to the video.
And Denmark is still very easily accessible. And of course, Danish passport holders have easy access to so many countries around the world. The number 4 most valuable passport for visa-free travel comes from Luxembourg. Luxembourg, obviously a very small country, nestled down there by Belgium. And it's just another reason that I talk about the idea that small countries are often better than the big behemoth countries like the United States. And
I have to post that for a comment I just saw now. Somebody saying Nigerian passport will get you from Lagos to Sokoto without a visa. That is quite interesting, hilarious. Let's go back into the video.
And here's the proof. Luxembourg passport holders can also enjoy access to 172 countries. They also enjoy VOA, visa on arrival access, in countries like India, which is something that people from Denmark do not enjoy. Now, according to the IMF and the World Bank, Luxembourg was either the richest or the second richest nation in the world based on PPP. And even though they have a very low profile in the world, Luxembourg has built one of the most successful offshore banking centers and one of the better economies in Europe. And their passport reflects that. Now, number 3 on the list of the most valuable passports in the world is from the United Kingdom. UK passport holders actually benefit from a 3-way tie as the top-tier passport on Earth.
So you can now see why the Yoruba people that have a British passport are not interested for the breakup of Nigeria. They love the way Nigeria is. They are pretenders. They know that Nigeria is not working, but they prefer to have, Nigeria the way it is because they have their own British passport. And my mom want British passport. And my mom want British passport. And they know that their children will continue to move around every part of the world. But what they do not understand is it will get to a stage that their children's identity will be lost in the ocean. British passport. It is good for them because you have left Nigeria. Do you know why? Do you know why? I will tell you again. For this purpose. Remember we were here before. Where is it again? In Bulatin walking in Sweden, Lankono. I think I lost that bit. All right. I'm sure you remember why I said at the beginning when we were looking at that issue of poverty and all that, the 5 reasons why people were migrating. But now you are more comfortable. You have given birth to 5 children, 3 children, 2 children, 6 children, and now they have British passport. You are the most happiest mother in the world. But what you don't understand is those children's identity will be lost forever if we don't get the Yoruba nation. Because you are still supporting the Fulani man. But you are not in Nigeria. We know that. You are in UK with your British passport because it can take you around the world. Your children, you are so excited that your children can go anywhere and they have the security. But you forgot that those children, tí wọ́n bá ti kú tó dàgbà tó darúgbó, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, àní ní kó kú nísìnyí. Torí tó bá dàgbà tó bá darúgbó tán, torí àwọn ọmọ yẹn, tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà fún wa, hey, shut up, man. That shit old country, man. Kúnlé no, I'm not Kúnlé, man. I'm not Kúnlé, man. Ẹni tó bá wá ń rí yẹn, a máa wá òpin, hey, kábíyèsí ẹ o. Ilé náà ti sọnù. That's the same way we are looking at some children now as well. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ṣe ń wò wọ́n nísìn nìyẹn. Sórí intern fight fún nísìn is not for us. It's for those generations tí wọ́n máa sọnù pátápátá. But you are looking at that value of the British passport. But you forget that we can have a Yoruba nation where we can start competing around the world in 10 years' time. But you are looking at now your children. Ṣeré lòmíì báyìí tó bá jí lára ni ẹ̀rọ ìpá amọ̀bá ṣe máa ń kọrin oríṣiríṣi orin. Because wọ́n ṣe fún níwèé. Ṣeré tó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ gbàwé inú ẹ̀ máa dùn. Good for you. But what we are saying is, let us now look down at those that do not have that same opportunity and break away from Nigeria. Don't be selfish. How many people can get British passport? No, even you, before you get your British passport, how many years did you take? What are the struggles you went through? But now, you have forgotten all the pain. Bó ṣe máa rí náà nìyẹn. Ṣẹ́rí gbogbo ilé tá à ń ṣe nísìn. Ṣẹ́rí jọ́ta bá ti announce pé Yoruba nation. You ẹlòmíì ò tẹ̀ ní rántí pé òun tẹ̀ wà lórí show. You know, some of you are sitting down with us for 4 hours. It's not easy. Some of you will go in and out. Ẹlòmíì ibi iṣẹ́ ló wà. Ó fẹ́ gbọ́ bó ṣe fẹ́ gbọ́ tèmi. Ó fẹ́ gbọ́ tẹlòmíì. Ẹlòmíì ṣe àìsùn títí. Ṣẹ́rí jọ́ta bá ti announce pé we are going. Ká ti gbé flag wa sílẹ̀. Bó dẹ̀ ṣe máa rí nìyẹn. Láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà. We will hoist our flag very soon. Whether peacefully, whether violent. I'm not scared to say that because I know Fulani are not ready to go. So if anybody's telling you we'll go peacefully, so be it. But we must prepare. All the money you have spent, all the hours that you are spending with every one of us, when I finish my show, somebody else will start. When that one finishes, it goes on and on and on. But the day we are going to get a Yoruba nation, some people will say it's not going to happen. Tell them it's because they have British passport. So they are so excited. But they forgot that there are millions of Yoruba people that are down at the bottom that cannot have the same access. Let's finish this. We are now number 3. The 5 most important. Somebody was asking which position is Nigeria. You should know now, Nigeria. This is the position of Nigeria. Let me show you. That is the position of Nigeria. Number 3 global terrorized country in the world. That is where your passport is. You are number 3. When they say about worst passport in the world, I just even give you number 3 because we are under the global terrorized country in the world. Number 3, that is where your Nigerian passport is standing, with Yemi Osibajo carrying it and Baba Gosimi. Number 3, so when somebody is asking me which position is our which position on our Nigerian passport, you are number 3. And if you don't believe so, this is the result of your Nigerian passport. Let me show you. 60 years report card. 60 years. 60 years. So this is your report card as a Nigerian passport holder. Shit old country. So when somebody say which position, killing A1, electricity E8, education F9, prostitution A1, good road D7, banking sector E8, bombing A1, telecommunication E8, security F9, corruption A1, cash embezzlement A1, leadership F9, job opportunity F9. That is the position of Nigeria. That's where your passport is. Ibi tí passport yín wà nìyẹn. Result passport yín ni mo kà fún yín. Number 3 in the world for terrorism after 60 years. You're right, David Wasiu. So when somebody say, which position is Nigerian passport? That is it there for you. I hope you like it. So when those at home that are so gullible, that do not understand, Saraki have a British passport. Do you know that? Saraki 419. Saraki, he has a British passport. So he knows that his life is secure according to the constitution of this country. When there's a war in Nigeria, when they went to come out, Tobafewa evacuate Awon, do you know that Saraki will bring out his British passport? Hey, I'm here, oh. Don't leave me behind, oh. I'm not Nigerian. I'm talking about Saraki. So this is what a lot of you don't know. Every one of them, they have another alternative passport. So you don't a British passport, only US passport. It's only German passport. Every one of them, they have alternative to that shit old Nigerian passport. Yes. Somebody say the way I'm seeing it is like we are number 1. No, let's stick number 3. Let's respect our country, please. Respect your country. Joke, respect Nigeria. You must respect Nigeria. Joke, please. You must respect Nigeria. We are number 3. Don't give it number 1 yet. On this show, we are number 3. But you can defend it. Maybe you're a lawyer. Who is going to defend Nigeria? Who wants to defend Nigeria? 111 people were killed. Do you know how they were killed? Go on my status. I can't show you. But if you have my number, save the number and go and look at my status. What dear one by? They were tied like that. They sliced their head out and they now put this head. They put it at the back. That was how they killed the whole people that they killed over the weekend. And somebody say, let us keep on Nigeria. Especially those hypocrite diaspora. And you know, we can work out Nigeria because of these, their British passport.
According to a survey by a group called Henley, the UK passport is a great travel document, gives you a lot of visa-free travel options, and 173 countries in all UK passport holders can visit easily. However, the UK is not a member of the borderless Schengen area in Europe. It and Ireland kind of opted out of that system through the Eurozone. So that means that British tourists do need to show their passport more often. Also, British passport holders need to get VOA for a few Eastern European countries, which the top countries and the other 2 in the top tier don't have to. The second most valuable passport for visa-free travel. Now we're really getting into some of the best passports on earth. Sweden. Their passport is one of the most respected in the world. It is one that very few immigration officers really give much of a second glance to. In fact,
did you hear that? We're now going into the last 2. Sweden. We've been talking about Sweden. Most valuable passport. A passport that they see, they don't have to double check it. How many of you have traveled with a Nigerian passport? Even in Nigeria. Do you know that in Nigeria they are looking at your passport and are you Mama Foluke? Is that you? Is that you? Is that you, Joke? Adeleke, is that they are looking at the Nigerian passport. They are still asking you whether it is you. In Nigeria, you don't know that. Because they know that that passport is 419. Because if the passport was really authentic, they don't have to be stretching their eyes and be looking at things. They put it under the frame and they're asking you, are you the one inside the car? Olayomi Koiki, are you the one inside this passport? If the passport was authentic from where it was coming from, if it was not all fraud, they shouldn't be looking at the passport and continue to look at it. But they know that the passport, everybody can do duplication of the passport. They know. Everybody is 419. They know. They know that that passport, how can you see it? Alaye, it is joining. They know, especially if the person is a JJC traveling for the first time. And it gba visa, tó jẹ́ pé genuine visa ló gbà, wọ́n tún máa threaten in the airport in Nigeria. The person that has a genuine visa, the immigration will now be threatening that we will not allow you to go because we suspected something. They didn't suspect anything. No. They just want to collect money. They will now start threatening. But you now know that the person that is a JJC that has been dreaming about America. And hey! Hey! Èmi tèmi ń travel lẹ́nìí, you will not say that out. I'm associating when. But hey! The visa tí mo lọ gbà, ẹ tún tẹ̀lé mi dé airport. It's because it's a country. A tún máa bẹ̀rù ẹni tó gba visa UK. Tó jẹ́ pé òun ló gba visa yẹn fún rẹ̀. Tó mọ̀ pé authentic ni. Tó bá wá dé ibi tó ti fẹ́ travel ní airport. Immigration Hausa, ìyẹn wá rí. Ó fẹ́ gbowó lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ní o. Where are you going to? Ìyẹn náà, I'm going to UK. To go and do what? Kí ni kàn pẹ̀lú yẹn? Ìyẹn wá ní I want to go and mọ̀ pé yẹn náà. I want to go on holiday. Because ó ti mọ̀ pé JJC ni. Ó ti mọ̀ pé JJC ni. Àwa bú passport yẹn dání. Àwa máa lọ, á máa bọ̀, á máa lọ, á máa bọ̀. Wọ́n wá máa béèrè pé sórí ìyẹn àwa máa tọ̀ sára. Sórí movement tó bá ti kúrò níbẹ̀ yẹn, ìyẹn wá pe phone, á wá pe àfáì àbí kó pe pastor. Hey! Wàhálà ti dé. Àwọn èèyàn wá béèrè pé kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? A ní wọ́n ti dá mi dúró airport. Pastor yẹn tó bá jẹ́ pastor tó jẹ́ pastor tó dáa àbí imam tó dáa, a máa sọ pé bó ṣèbó sọ pé gbogbo kínní ó ṣe dáadáa, a ti gbàdúrà, Ọlọ́run ti gbàdúrà ẹ̀, ọ̀nà ẹ̀ ti a ní ọ̀nà yóò dáa, ọ̀nà yóò dáa rárá. And now ẹni yẹn ìgbàgbọ́ tó tún wá ní sí fún rẹ̀, ìgbàgbọ́ yẹn wá sọnù. Ìkọ́kọ́ ń ṣẹlẹ̀ o, Hausa man yẹn ló kọ̀ pé ìyá nígbẹ́ o. And sometimes Yoruba man, àwa máa bẹ̀rù pé hey! Ó sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ìgbà tí mo fẹ́ kúrò ní láàárọ̀ yìí. Ẹlòmíì ti kúrò láti ìlú, ó ti wá sẹ́kọ̀ọ́. A ní òun kọsẹ̀. Ìgbà la máa sọ oríṣiríṣi. Mo kọsẹ̀, mo yàgbẹ́, ìtọ́gbọ̀n bí. Tó bá dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé mo wá síwájú máa yí o. There is nothing. Look, it is nothing. It is because the country is a shithole. And everybody will become our maberu. Tima yẹn bá wá padà wá. Where do you say you are going again? London or Scotland? Ìyẹn náà mọ̀kọ̀kọ̀ or Wales? Ìyẹn máa ní ibo tẹ̀ lọ́ní mò ń lọ gan sẹ̀. A ti gbàgbé because ó ti mess up gbogbo brain ẹ̀ so kò lè ronú mọ́. These are reality that happens daily. This is somebody that have a legit visa. Wọ́n tún máa wá dẹ́rù bá nínú Nigerian airport. Kò tí ì dé lóyìnbó. Ṣé tó bá wá dé London? Tó bá ń sọ̀rọ̀, I can't hear you. Àwọn èèyàn máa wò pé calm down. Tó bá tún wá jẹ́ immigration tó ya wèrè ní border control. A ní calm down. Kò mọ̀ pé calm down yẹn wọ́n ti threaten ẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà. So from the fact that Nigeria immigration are threatening that individual, tó bá máa fi dé London, àrẹ àwọn máa gbọ̀n. Àwọn èèyàn ní calm down, everything is okay. You have a legit visa. You don't have to worry. Ìyá wọn máa rẹ́rìn sí. How long do you say you want to stay here? Ẹni yẹn ṣe wá realize pé wow, so visa yìí legit lóòótọ́. How long are you staying here? Òyìnbó tó bá ti rí pé everything is okay. Make sure you visit Trafalgar Square. Make sure you visit Trafalgar Square. àwa máa sọ gbogbo ibi tó ti máa lọ náwó. A máa sọ gbogbo ibi tó ti máa lọ náwó. A máa sọ everywhere you have to spend money. Òyìnbó will start telling you, how much do you say you have with you? Yeah, I have 2,000 pounds. Okay, you might want to visit. A máa sọ pé kò lọ visit. But bó ṣe máa sọ fún ẹni pé if you come out, there's a tourist point outside. When you go out there, they can organize everything for you. Tọ́lọ̀ bá mú ẹ tó bá lọ síbẹ̀, wá gbọ́wọ́ owó ẹ ni. This is because the country has made everybody mad. So it is when the person now realizes that the way the immigration officer is talking to them at the port of entry in Germany, in Canada, is different from that contraction they're coming from. That is when they start realizing that, wow, hey, I have one person watching this broadcast. I have told you before, Dubai. The person got to Dubai, missed the flight because he was so excited. Airport, she was in airport in Dubai. Wọ́n máa rẹ́rìn bí ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Ìjọ tó sọ fún mi, mo rẹ́rìn mo fẹ́ yó. Wọ́n ní bàbá mi, nígbà tí mo dé Dubai, mo gbàgbé pé mo ní connecting flight. Do you know that it's because the country is a madness? Ẹni yẹn náà gbàgbé pé òun láti gba connecting flight. It was when the next day ló wá rántí pé ìlú tí mo ṣe ń lọ mo ì tí débẹ̀. Honey, your flight is gone. She has to buy a new brown ticket. She's watching the broadcast as I'm speaking right now. Let's go back and finish this. The show will come to an end at 4 o'clock. This is what they've done. And you know the people at the airport? You know them now. The one that will search your bag is a Yoruba man. Those ones are bastard. Those ones are alatenuje. They know that you are going. They know that your tendency of coming back is real. But the one that is Hausa man is threatening you with a genuine visa. But the Yoruba man will then start looking at your luggage. Kí ló lọ fẹ́ lè ṣe ní London? Kí ló kàn níbẹ̀? Kí ló kàn? It doesn't have any business in your luggage as long as you're not taking any contraband. That is when they start asking you, kí ló lọ fẹ́ pàṣẹ ní London? How can an immigration be asking you, a Yoruba man, kí ló lọ fẹ́ pàṣẹ ní London? Because ó ti mọ̀ pé òun sá lọ ni. So they start doing things to make life miserable for you before you travel. It is when you now land in UK and the immigration border say, welcome to London. And yet, the moment you pass through, you make a phone call and say, mo ti wọlé o. You will now be knowing that you are now in a different land entirely, where police is not going to brutalize you, where there's nothing. Everything now is becoming normal to you. I said the person was traveling for the first time some few years back. She got to Dubai. She missed, not that she missed the flight, she was so excited looking at the airport. Wọ́n gbàgbéra sínú Dubai airport. An airport. Can you bring back that image, please? I think I can show a video, hopefully that my backend team can show me, I can show you the airport, where somebody did a video for me, I think about 2 years ago. They know, Nancy, they frustrate travelers because they know you are running away as well. How many of you have left that come back after 14 years, 13 years, after you become British citizen? Now you say, let us keep on Nigeria. But you know that after 3 weeks, you run back to another country outside Nigeria. Somebody say, confirm talk. It happened. Okay, 1 minute. I'm going to roll the video while I come to you in just a minute more.
In fact, all the Nordic countries really are that way, and they all enjoy excellent visa-free travel options. People have mentioned Norway as a country that they're surprised didn't rank more highly. But having a Swedish passport comes very well in handy with thanks to that excellent reputation. Swedish passport holders can't, however, travel visa-free to India. They enjoy a few less visa-free options than holders of the #1 passport do when it comes to traveling in Southeast Asia and Africa. But Sweden is a top-tier passport, #2 overall, with 173 countries that they can access. Now it's time to reveal the #1 most valuable passport on Earth for visa-free travel. This is a passport that you can go to all sorts of places, Europe, the Americas, Southeast Asia, even countries in Africa, places that even most developed country passport holders need special visas in advance for. Number 1 on the list is Finland. Now, Finland, like number 2 and 3 on the list, has access to 173 countries, although it offers access to countries that almost no other passport does. Now, I've said for a while that Finland is one of the world's most underestimated economies. It is number 1 in the world for transparency, but it also offers, in our call, the most valuable passport. Basically, you can go to India, you can even enjoy visa-free access to Vietnam. There are some restrictions on that, but Vietnam is traditionally a very difficult country to enter. American, Canadian, etc. passport holders have to pay a $45 fee, have to get a visa in advance. It's not as complicated as many, but if you have a Finnish passport, you can bypass some of those steps and get great access to so many countries on Earth. Finland, the world's most valuable passport for visa-free travel. So those are the...
So did you hear that? For transparency, just for transparency, the country is giving them 173. So before we wind down today, because we have about 10 minutes left, let us remember, these were opportunities that I'm just showing us. So it's not just to say every day that we will fight. We also want you to see opportunity that is there when we leave a country like shithole called Nigeria. The vast amount of opportunity that is waiting for us. But this opportunity will not come true if we do not. Important of having a new nation is what I've explained to you. If you've looked at the topic that we were treating today, as we're winding down slowly. The topic is, we continue to stick to number 1, Yoruba self-determination, way forward. Do we Yorubas want to remain in abject poverty? Question mark. Do we want to remain in an abject poverty for the rest of our life and the next generation? Important of having a new nation. There will not be election in 2023. Forget about that. I just played you a video of myself when I was in Nigeria prior to that election. I just showed you that video earlier on. And let me just complete that video a bit. I think it's about less than a few minutes left on that video.
Be your last message before we say goodbye to you for those that are watching us and those that are... Yes, good evening. And different countries, but we are still running in electricity
to UK, Europe, America, and everything. They are going to the country where everybody who made that country to be worked very hard for it. They respect one another. So respect other people's view. Do not kill yourself for anybody. It's all madness. Nobody, if anybody says they die because of me, I will say they will receive you in hell. Yeah? Wow. So don't die for anybody. Don't kill yourself for anybody, but save life. Save Nigeria for a better tomorrow. Vote APC. Wow. Thank you very much, and have a nice day. Thank you. It's nice talking to you.
Thank you very much. Well,
what a very, almost an hour, very tense. That is a message that we all would disagree or agree, but the most important thing is, for those of you that are in Nigeria,
it's 78 days, and whether you believe it or not, lot of Nigerians will still vote, whether you are part of the new parties or you are part of the old political parties. Each one have their own followers, but the question I'm leaving with you tonight is, what role will you do to get your message across, to those that really needs to get that message? As we all know, things have not worked in this country for the last 58 years. Not just today, not just yesterday. We all know that 58 years, things have not really worked the way it should be. And that was what Davison was saying there to me on that post that I read to you not too long ago. And for those of you that have not been able to listen to that, I will read that again, just so that we can understand, that some Nigerians that you might even be thinking understand doesn't have a clue at all. Everything in Nigeria is over 25 years behind today global best practice. So everything in Nigeria now, outside now, there's a sound of a generator that is just blasting through my ears, and I'm thinking this shouldn't be happening in 2018. That means, 25 years ago was when generator was working in other part of different countries, but we are still running in electricity in 2018. So whenever you talk about the future to an average Nigerian in Nigeria, to such, you are just a mere dreamer. And maybe the new political party might be the game changer, or the old guards, like they call them, might continue to bring us the best. We'll all have to wait and see, because the reality is Nigerians will be casting their vote come February 16, 2019. And on that note, it's a tense one tonight. It will continue to get tense, because we will have different political parties that will be joining this broadcast for the next 78 days. So you might want to hold on to your temper, because every 91 political party must have a say come 2019, and the message must be well received. Next week, Monday, we're going to be having someone that will be joining us next week, Monday. I hope you can see that properly.
And the question is, as I leave you with that video of myself in 2018, asking those boiling questions, you heard me say that we are still running generator. That was 2018. Kí ló ti change? Ẹ̀yin ìyá tẹ́ fẹ́ vote fún APC àti PDP. Kí ló ti change? Ìbọn ti pa yín lọ́mọ nísìn. Ṣé fẹ́ jìyà kú ni? Ṣé fẹ́ jìyà kú ni? Ẹ wo nǹkan tá show yín díẹ̀ nísìn. We talked about the country like Sweden, less than 15 million. Their immigration now has gone up because everybody wants to go and live there for a better life. Do you know why? Their passport is the best passport among all other countries, as number 2 in the world. Not even the UK passport. UK passport is number 3. But do you know where Nigerian passport is? This is where Nigerian passport is. Number 3, Global Terrorism Index 2020. So when we say, why don't you let us get the key for Yoruba nation? Why are you interested for us to get the bread? Ṣebí bread yìí náà láti ń gbà láti joy. Bread yìí láti ń gbà láti 60 years. 60 years of failure. So when people say, Koikimedia, why are you worrying yourself? Because I was also worried in 2018 for you all. Ṣebí mi wá sílé, and I've gone out of the country again. And I'm here, where I can tell you that I would prefer to, can you just give me a slice of bread there? Let me show you. This is what people, I love practical. Don't give me too much now. Just give me a little. Go in my jacket and bring my key. Let me make a practice to you. I will end up eating this bread. But this is what our people are like. This is a bread, right? From that image. This is a bread. Just look in there, you see the key. We want to give you a key. You cannot look. It's a fresh bread. This is the key, right? So which one do you prefer out of the two? Èwo lẹ prefer nínú méjèèjì? Do you prefer the key for your freedom, or you prefer for me to keep sending you the bread? Ṣé ẹ fẹ́ jẹ́ ká máa fi búrẹ́dì ránṣẹ́ sílé fún yín ní gbogbo ìgbà? Àbí ẹ fẹ́ ká fún yín ní kọ́kọ́rọ́ ká máa fi kúrò nínú oko ẹrú tá wà? Èwo lẹ fẹ́ bẹ̀? It's up to you. I can sit here and be sending you half of this bread, because tí bá fún ẹ ní gbogbo búrẹ́dì, èmi náà ní rí kankan tí màá máa jẹ. So màá máa fún ẹ ní díẹ̀ nínú búrẹ́dì yìí, àmọ́ kọ́kọ́rọ́ yẹn àwa máa dì í mú. So which one do you want? It's practical. Òun lélẹ̀. Smells very nice. Fresh bread. Àwọn tó bá ń gbé London, wọ́n mọ irú búrẹ́dì tí mò ń sọ yìí. Very fresh. The same bread that you cannot eat at home. So you want people in America to give you $100, $200, maximum they will give you $10,000. You will set up a business, it will still fail because you are running on generator. Or we can tell the diaspora, like my sister, my brothers, every one of you that are outside and say, hello, I know you now. Now we have a Yoruba nation. You got to come back home, man. And they'll say, I'm thinking, no, don't think about it anymore. We need you now. As an engineer, as a doctor, as a nurse, even I want everybody to retire, as you need expertise in it. Which one do you want the diaspora to give you? Continue to give you bread? Oh, you are happy that the pounds is £1 to 635 naira. But every morning that people are working outside, look, outside now is dark. It's exactly 4 o'clock. I wish I can show you. Oti dudu nita, it's very dark outside. So do you want bread or you want the key? Which one do you want? Because me, I have the two. I am comfortable here. I can continue to eat this bread. And you tell me bread is here. How many of you can afford to eat bread in Nigeria? Shit old country. Key, freedom is the only way to success. What do you want? You want the diaspora to continue to give you pennies. We go and set up NGOs. We set up charity organizations. We come home. We bring you all together. We give you money. We are looking for lobby. I feel lobby for you. Wake up and told me, say. So when your governor come here, you see me with your governor taking picture. Now you are looking for me to give you access to your governor, the 419 governor. So what do you want? Those of you at home. Forget about the diaspora. They're enjoying. Any diaspora telling you Nigeria is good, forget about it. They're enjoying. They have bread in their house and they have the key. Do you know the key? The British passport is number 3 in the world. Go to enter on the British passport. Need we go Ombadu. Enter on the way go Ombadu. And it all new way Ombadu need we. The only problem don't concern is Opewa Sile, Opewa Buga. Look, people that are here, if you don't fight for immigration, they will just be moving you from one end to the other. But you know why we all fight for it? Because so that it gives you the leverage to travel out of the country. Thank you. You didn't put butter on the other one. Butter lelori. You see? They give me a bread, no butter. I said, I want butter on it. Michelle, the bread it was the butter. I want the butter on it because it makes it go. Butter. You want to butter. Anchor butter. Those are things that we should just make out of a ranch that Obafemi Awolowo has kept. A template. We have a ranch, we can extract all these things and we make butter. Our tati she refine epo. La fi ma se butter. Anchor butter is already on the bread. What do you want? You want me to show you again? You want the bread or you want key to freedom? It's up to you. It's up to you all. Do you want the key for everlasting total freedom of Nigeria, where your country passport is number 3 in the world under Global Terrorism Index? Why UK is the same number 3, but the only difference is it takes them around the world. What do you want? I'm asking everybody, what do you want? Do you want the bread I just showed you? That is the image I'll show you there. Or we go the other way around, according to Nick Turner. He said, to 1,000 enslaved militants, how many of you all want freedom? How many of you want freedom? All the 1,000 came forward. All the 1,000 say they want to be free. He now says, how many of you all are willing to do whatever it takes? Step forward. 900 of them step forward. Then he said, the first thing we must do is kill those cowards standing behind us because they are our biggest enemy. So if anyone is standing on my way, you are my biggest enemy. We take you out first. regardless of wherever you are. Anybody to stand against what we are doing, you will be the first person we take out. It doesn't matter whoever it is. It doesn't matter. We are getting closer. Omadebe. Have a very good afternoon. Let me go and enjoy my lunch. Thank you very much. Continue, like I always say, support the media. We will do more. We will move mountains. We will break up Nigeria. Have a very good afternoon and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and I'll be back again same time tomorrow. Nigeria at the verge of breakup, part 182 tomorrow. Our videos will still need to be going round. As I speak to you, in the next 72 or less than 3 days, the audio version as well will continue to circulate. So when people say they don't have DVD, don't worry about that. We are also producing the audio version. But we can't do all that without your support. There's no point if we continue to talk, but we can't get the message to the grassroots. I'm also aware that there will be an update on the petition. As soon as I have all the information, I was in a meeting with the rest of the crew yesterday. When we have that information of the latest petition, I'll be telling the whole house. But for now, I believe that old petition is probably not valid. So that petition that we've been signing, I don't think it's valid anymore. But when the new one comes out, we need the energy. In less than 7 days, we must sign that petition to 100,000. And there's no joke about that. The GoFundMe is still there. Oh, Yorukuma Gbagbeni. No. Go there and support the GoFundMe. That is the only way out. My name is Olayomi Koiki. Myself and you, we take our people out of the bondage. Bye for now. Not sure, my system seems to be frozen. So I'm just going to close the broadcast, straight away. We should be able to play the anthem before closing. Yeah. Yeah. No. All right. In a minute. All right. All right. Let me just play this and then I can close the broadcast. I gotta go now.
Ìṣọ̀kan ló lè mú wa délẹ̀ lérí. Àgbájọ. Àgbájọwọ́ la fi ń sọ̀yà, ohun kan ló lè mú wa dókè. ká ṣera wa lọ́kàn ọmọ Yorùbá. Ìṣọ̀kan ló lè mú wa délé lérí. Àgbájọwọ́ la fi ń sọ̀yà. Ohun kan ló lè mú wa dókè. Ká ṣera wa lọ́kàn ọmọ Yorùbá. Ọmọ Yorùbá ẹsẹ̀ tí ilé kan. Ìfẹ́ àti ìṣọ̀kan ló yẹ wá. Àìgbọ́ra ẹni yé kò yẹ láàrin wa. Ká sowọ́pọ̀ kó lè dá. One voice, ohun kan. Ká fẹnu kò síbì kan torí ilẹ̀ wa. Sẹ́nu wá bá kò, ohun gbogbo máa dẹ̀rùn. Orílẹ̀-èdè Odùduwà ṣàlàfẹ́. Ìṣọ̀kan ló lè mú wa délé. Ìṣọ̀kan ní àgbájọwọ́. Àgbájọwọ́ la fi ń sọ ohun kan. Ló lè mú wa dókè. Ká ṣera wa lọ́kàn ọmọ Yorùbá. Gbogbo gómìnà gúúsù ìwọ̀ oòrùn. Ó yá ẹ dìde kí á ẹ dìde. Ẹ dìde sọ̀rọ̀ ilẹ̀ Odùduwà. Ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ ọmọ yẹn ṣàlàfẹ́. Gbogbo ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ẹ má fọ̀pọ̀ lẹ́rán ẹjọ́ ẹ dìde. Àfojúsùn wa kó lè rọrùn. Ẹ̀bẹ̀ lábẹ́ yìí ẹjọ́ ẹ dìde. Ìṣọ̀kan lè mú wa délé lérí. Àgbájọwọ́ la fi ń sọ̀yà. Ohun kan lè mú wa dókè. Ká ṣera wa lọ́kàn ọmọ Yorùbá. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátá ẹjẹ́ àrònú. Ká má ṣe jọ́ máa lè rárá ni mo sọ. Àti rí bó ṣe ń lọ ẹjẹ́ ká dìde. Fómìnira wa ilẹ̀ Oòduà. Orílẹ̀-èdè Oòduà ṣáàlà ń bèrè. Àsìkò ti tó ẹ dìde. Ìṣọ̀kan ló lè mú wa délé. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni àgbájọwọ́ la fi ń sọ̀yà. Ohun kan ló lè mú wa dókè. Ká ṣera wa lọ́kàn ọmọ Yorùbá. Ọmọ Yorùbá nílé àti lókè òkun. Ẹ dìde fórílẹ̀-èdè Oòduà. Àti rí bí Nàìjíríà ṣe rí. Ọjọ́ ọ̀la àwọn ọmọ wa jẹ́ kó jọ wá lógún. Láṣẹ ní ká dìde. Ẹ dìde. Kálẹ̀ lórílẹ̀-èdè Oòduà kíákíá. Sábà lórílẹ̀-èdè wa ọkàn wa balẹ̀. A ó máa jó mùkúlùmù kẹ́kẹ́. Ìṣọ̀kan ló lè mú wa délé lérí. Àgbájọwọ́ la fi ń sọ̀yà. Ohun kan ló lè mú wa dókè. Ká ṣera wa lọ́kàn ọmọ Yorùbá. Ká ṣera wa lọ́kàn ẹnu wa kò. Orílẹ̀-èdè Oòduà ṣàlàfẹ́. Orílẹ̀-èdè Oòduà á tẹ̀ wá lọ́wọ́. Àwa di mímúṣẹ. Mo ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ló máa rí. Àwa di mímúṣẹ. Aláwa di mímúṣẹ. Àwa di mímúṣẹ. Prọfẹ̀sọ̀ Akíntóyè. Àwa di mímúṣẹ. Ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun. Àwa di mímúṣẹ. Aláwa di mímúṣẹ. Àwa di mímúṣẹ. Ìbá ìgè 50 of Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. Bàmí Gani Adams. Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò bàmí o. Ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun. nation ní èyí. Tó bá ti bọ́ sí tó ń kọ́. Èmi àdèmájó máa yọ. Èmi àdèmájó máa yọ. Èmi àdèmájó máa yọ. Àwọn ọmọdé sọ pé Yorùbá nation ní èyí. Àwọn àgbà náà sọ pé Yorùbá nation ní èyí. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá. Yorùbá nation ní èyí. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá lókè òun. Yorùbá nation ní èyí. Wọ́n pariwo kárakára. Yorùbá nation ní èyí. Wọ́n fẹ́ olúwo. Yorùbá nation ní èyí. Wọ́n ló dẹ̀ tún wà wọ́n yéye. Yorùbá nation ní èyí. Tó bá bọ́ sí tó ń kọ́. Èmi àdèmájó máa yọ. Gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ Yorùbá pátápátá. Èmi àdèmájó máa yọ. Ìyá Oòduà. Yorùbá nation ní èyí. Ìyá Oòduà gbogbo UK mo kí ọ bí ẹ. Ìbà Gani Adams. Yorùbá nation ní èyí. Ó dẹ̀ wá wù mí yéye. Yorùbá nation ní èyí. Chief Sunday Igboho ló tún sọ pé. Èmi àdèmájó máa yọ. Máa jó mú kúlùmù kẹ́kẹ́. Èmi àdèmájó máa yọ. Ṣáínì jí kọrin kọrin. Èmi àdèmájó.